London's LBC 97.3.
Absolutely.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Here we go.
Hey, hey, hey. I am not Ian Lee.
Oh, no.
Where's he gone now?
He's gone back to Kent again.
Again, he must love the Garden of England.
I think it's all that sunny weather.
Right, it was particularly lovely today, wasn't it? It was, summer has come late. It wasn't in August, it was in September this year.
They did say we were going to get an Indian summer.
Yeah, but they said we were going to get the greatest, longest, hottest summer in the history of this country in January. And were they right about that?
No.
No, Carol, they were not.
Oh, they lied about that.
Yeah, about that and many other things.
So were you basking in the sun?
No, I was behind 3 panes of glass looking at it while I was over at the other place, you know.
Yeah.
I saw it outside, it looked lovely. Inside, it was just...
Rock and roll!
Me and the rock and roll.
Do you reckon it boosts your mood even if you're not even in direct sunlight? So if you just look at it, does that put a smile on your face?
Well, I did... Well, I got 15 minutes if you got to walk to the tube.
Yeah.
Most people, even if they spend all day in an office, will get 15 minutes going there and coming back. And it did put me, I don't know, I was just in a happy mood anyway. I was smiling as I was walking along, which is very unusual for me. People must have thought I'd lost my mind.
Wow.
Smiling, they thought, to himself.
Did they avoid you?
I didn't get close enough to anyone for them to avoid me. I try to avoid them before they can avoid me, thereby reducing my public embarrassment.
Yes.
Yeah. And Stephen Gerrard said, you know, any question that he's asked, he always says that first. He makes me laugh every time.
Is that his way into a sentence?
Yeah, you know, Get any audio of Stephen Gerrard, and I guarantee that every sentence he utters starts with, yes, well, you know, said in his comedy northern accent.
That's his thinking time.
Yeah,
what
I
he's going to
suppose.
say next.
Yeah, he's not paid for thinking, he's paid for playing.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
As long as he does that well on Wednesday, nobody cares. It's Croydon, hello.
A poem, Night's Pilgrim, by somebody. Idling I sit in this mild twilight dim, whilst birds in wild swift vigils skim. Light winds in sighing sink till rising bright.
Go on. Oh, no, we've run out of time on that call. Does he do that every day?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does this guy do this every day? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hello?
Yes, so when I'm coming on the show.
Does that guy do that every day as well?
Yeah.
He was the second best call so far. We're going to rate them now. So I suppose you spent all day looking for YouTube clips of the Britney Spears comeback, like everybody else in the country.
I didn't need to. It was all over the TV news.
Really?
They were loving the story on the news.
Yeah. Well, I saw the whole thing.
Well,
and
the whole performance?
Yes. And you know what it reminded me of was somebody going through a sound check. They were not actually putting much effort into it, just walking, what they call walking it through. Is that what they call it? Walking it through or walking through?
What, like a rehearsal?
Exactly, yes,
Yeah.
a rehearsal, yes. But she did look a bit... And people are saying she's fat. You know what? She's not fat, she's normal. That's
She's normal
what
size.
normal looks like, but we expect anybody who has a midriff showing, or who's on television that comes from America, to be toned within an inch of their lives. They can't pinch an inch. They wouldn't even think of it.
It's because she was really skinny beforehand.
Well, she was never skinny. She was, I'd say she was fit.
Yeah.
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 So everybody up and down the country, and I did notice that it was very difficult, because I watched it at home, and then, of course, when I came into work at the other place, everybody was, even though it was a rock station, everybody was watching Britney Spears over and over and over again, but finding it very difficult to log in. It was almost like back in the old days when you used to have to dial up your internet connection, and it made that funny noise. Yeah. and everything came down so slowly.
But we didn't know any better.
Well, we did.
Did we?
Well, we know what fast looks like, and we know what slow looks like. We just wished it was faster.
Right.
And that wasn't so very long ago.
It wasn't, was it?
And not so very long ago before that, we had no internet at all. And we got along with life with the greatest of ease, so it seems. Corporations were founded and went to rule the world. People went out and got home without incident. And we're totally and utterly dependent on it. Can you think of anything else? With the possible exception of mobile phones, which I guess I'll twin with the communication revolution. Can you think of anything else that has taken over our lives so completely, so quickly, without which, after just, say, 10 years, we would all be utterly lost?
Sat-navs?
Not sat-navs. You can get places where you could literally not be lost.
Mobile phones?
With a map. Yeah, I said
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not listening to this show, are you?
Who? Me?
No, the answer is no. Nothing. Not a single thing.
Oh, I thought there was an answer.
Not air travel. No, this is not a quiz. I'll have a quiz later on.
Oh, no. I hate quizzes. They just show your true colours.
No, you'll like this one. This is not a quiz of intellect. It's a quiz of bias. So there is no wrong answer.
Right, okay.
So you can stop sweating.
Phew.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, the communications revolution.
Oh, right.
No, we got past Britney. I'll go back to her in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll do a loop. But there's nothing that was invented and took over so completely, such that a mere 10 years after it was invented, we'd be lost without it. Can anybody think of one other single thing? There can't be. Its progress has been unbelievable. You walk into any workspace now, and it's dominated. They don't just have them, it's completely dominated by the speed of communications. And has it actually fulfilled its promise and enabled us to work less? No, the complete reverse. We're actually working more now with all of these labour and time-saving devices than we ever did before. Isn't that weird?
The problem is, because with things like the internet in front of you, you feel the urge to go and, I don't know, maybe check out your MySpace, while you're working.
Yeah, stop wasting your time on MySpace, Facebook.
Yeah.
They're not your friends. It's true.
Aren't they?
No, they're not.
Oh, right.
And there was a little thing, let me see, I've got that somewhere.
So you're not on the MySpace yet, are you?
Well, there's 2 pages that purportedly mine, Nick Abbott.
Yeah.
But they've nothing to do with me. They're people have taken my name and...
So people are going on MySpace now and not even being themselves?
Oh, people are not telling the truth on the internet. Gosh, that sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? I've got this somewhere. Wait a minute. Mobile phone hazard, violent school essays, shyness equals murderers, plants and music, antidepressant, happiness lessons, 30 foot from a hospital, police targets, speeders, Jamie's school dinners, men seek beauty, Sky Sports scores, girls hate gadgets, Boris versus Ken, feed the birds, cost of Facebook. There it is.
Hey.
All the way down at the bottom. Those are some of the things that we probably won't have time to get around to talking about today.
Nah.
Just some topics and issues that I thought I might bring in with me. But we'll be, taking calls like this. Hello?
Yummy, yummy, yum.
See?
Brilliant.
Workers who surf social network sites such as Facebook cost their employers, guess how much a day? That's right, £130 million. And that's you, that is.
It's not me. How dare you? Have you been spying on me?
Employees waste about 233 million hours a month, the study said. Why should workers waste 2 hours a day when they're being paid to do a job, said Mike of some consultancy firm who carried out the research, who would dearly love me to mention their name, but I won't. Ha-ha.
Mike.
£130 million a day, checking out your non-friends on MySpace.
How does they even work that figure out?
I don't know. They just make this stuff up. It's all rubbish. If it's in the papers, then you can virtually screw it in a tight little ball and throw it straight in the bin.
Yeah.
In fact, like those people that hand out those papers as you come into or go out of a tube. Most people take them and put them straight in the bin, thereby cutting out all of the reading that goes on in the middle. Cut out the middleman, just buy it and put it straight in the bin. If it's free, then you double your money.
Well, you've got to take it if it's free.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah. I think that I should actually, unless they're advertising with us, in which I think it's an excellent addition to London's reading matter, but I think they should be against the law. Because they're full of nothing. It's just, they're just printing, they're cutting down all of these trees just to print adverts, just to give away. I mean, if I wanted to give away adverts by the side of the road,
Yeah.
then Mayor Ken would quite rightly scoop me up in a lorry and send me off to jail.
Passes the time, though.
Okay, it prevents you locking eyes with someone on the tube on the way home, is exactly what it does. It's 7:15.
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 9090 973.
Nick Abbott.
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
But I do know that Ian is off until Thursday, is that right? He's coming back on Thursday?
That is correct.
Yes, and I'm Nick Abbott. I normally do Saturday nights between 10 and 1, and I'll be doing my best to fill in for him. Tomorrow evening, by the way, don't forget that Carol is on Millionaire.
Yeah.
While I'm on the air, right? So I'll have it on and be commenting on her performance throughout, and we'll try and answer the questions that she's been posed.
Yeah.
Or rather, you will.
Oh. And you don't know how much money she's got yet, do you?
No, I didn't want her to tell me because I don't like knowing something before I've seen it.
Right.
On which subject, I should say that The Sopranos, which is the greatest television series ever produced,
Absolutely.
and is on now, the last 9 episodes, I saw it. I've seen it already, because I knew that somebody would spoil it for me.
Really?
Yeah, all of the interviews that come out, all of the, if you go to any American site on the net, it's likely that they'll tell you, because they've seen it already. Why Channel 4 held on to it for so long, I don't know. They shot themselves in the foot, because a lot of people have just seen it already, because they knew that the end would be spoiled. I read an interview in the Sunday Times.
Right.
Now, I mentioned this before, and it's absolutely true. People, when they know the end of a film or a television series, they just can't help themselves. They'll say something like, I'm not going to spoil it, but... And then they spoil it. The guy who did an interview with the creator of the series in the Sunday Times culture section, he told us the end in the second sentence.
No.
You couldn't avoid reading it.
You see, why would you read anything about it anyway?
Well, because you're interested in the programme, and you wouldn't think that anyone would be unpleasant enough to tell you what happens in the end. Not only did he tell us how it actually ends, but then he went on to elaborate on what music was playing, what they were doing when it ends, and I just couldn't believe what I was reading.
Spoil sport.
Yeah, exactly. And I said it before, and it's true. It's like that sort of playground mentality when it's, I know something you don't know.
So is Sopranos better than 24?
Easily, yeah. 24 is great, but
Yeah.
The Sopranos is, I think, is the best thing that's ever been on television.
Bingo.
How many series have there
I don't
been?
know.
Oh.
Have you not been watching?
I haven't watched any of The Sopranos.
What? Well, that's great. Then you have something. I would like to watch it from
Start to finish?
Yes, from a new two.
Oh. Okay.
So that's what you want for your Christmas.
The thing is,
the boxed set.
I've avoided all the endings about it so far.
Yeah, but
So
you don't read papers or anything.
I do. So it can be done if you really want to avoid the
Right.
endings. I think it can be done.
Okay.
It's just that because you immerse yourself in the papers.
Yes,
You can't.
that's right. But even if you don't, somebody will just say it, like you'll be tooling around on an American website, and then they'll have a spoof of the ending. There's so many of those around now. Even Hillary Clinton did one with husband Bill.
Oh, is that what they're up to these days?
What, each other, you mean? Yeah. Charlotte in Banstead, hello.
Hello, Nick. You're moaning again.
I am not.
Yes, you was moaning. I saw Boris Johnson up in Whitehall today,
Really?
having his photograph taken. I don't know if it's with tourists or anything, but they were asking to have their photograph taken with him.
Did he comb his hair?
He was only a few feet away from me. He came out of one of the government buildings.
Is that an answer to my question?
comb his hair. No, he's still all ruffled.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's his logo.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. But then we don't really know anything about him. We know that he's amusing on TV, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, well, I hope he wins.
But that, you know, that's the only thing that matters in politics anymore. Being amusing on TV or just likeable. The Americanization of British politics is complete. What you actually stand for is neither here nor there. Nobody reads their manifestos anymore. Nobody pays the slightest bit of attention to what you say because they know. Deep in our, we all know deep in our hearts that they're all lying to us all the time. Oh yeah, we'll sort out education and we'll sort out the NHS and we'll bring our boys home and on and on and on and on. And when they actually get into power, they completely, just like they've got some sort of mental block. They totally forget everything that they've said and then skite off in a completely different direction.
Yeah, he looks exactly the same as he does on the telly.
Right.
No
Well,
different.
Okay.
I quite like him. But I was going to say, I've got a cat called Boris.
Have you?
He's blind, yeah.
Now, is it...
Ginger cat.
Is that a coincidence?
No, I didn't call him Boris. He's a rescue cat. So he was already called Boris.
Right, so it's a coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he came across as a nice chap, even though you weren't actually speaking to him. You got that
No,
aura.
he was a few feet away from me. Just,
Right.
I was coming out of the building, and I saw him coming out another part of the building. Don't know if he was having a meeting or something with some other people.
You were coming out of a building in...
Well, where I work, up there.
Oh, you work for the government, do you?
Yes. I came out one part, and he must have been coming out further down, and I just spotted him.
So what kind of work do you do?
Oh, secretarial type work.
Ah, right. A lot of... you've signed the Official Secrets Act?
Yeah.
So you can't say any more.
No,
Well, I've signed the Official Secrets Act, you can tell me.
Oh, no.
It's a need-to-know basis, right?
Yeah, I'm not getting into trouble. I mean, nothing to tell.
So, is it thumbs up or thumbs down from your experience of working for the present government?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure about the Conservatives. I'm not sure about David Cameron.
Yeah, but you haven't worked for them. You've only worked for...
No, but I'm not sure. No, I think they're okay. I think Labour's okay.
Okay, right. After 10 years, they only get an okay.
Well, I like Tony Blair, actually.
Right.
I don't agree with Iraq.
Now, you like Tony Blair because he looked nice on TV, right?
Well,
That's a yes, isn't it?
yeah, he's got a lot of
Yeah.
charisma.
Charisma, exactly right.
He's friendly.
Well, he's friendly because he's being paid to be friendly. That's his job. It used to be the job of the politicians to, you know, actually go in there and sort things out and make decisions, even if they were unpopular, if they were for the good of the nation. Now, it just seems that all they do is just go on Richard and Judy and try to look nice on TV.
I'm not sure
I
about,
despair.
I'm not sure about Gordon Brown, I must admit. I don't know how to take him.
Right, because he doesn't look chummy and nice. You wouldn't want to hang out and have a pint with Gordon Brown. No, of course
He
not.
looks a bit abrupt.
Like he would erupt at any moment.
Going to be
yeah.
abrupt.
Yes.
When you talk to him.
If you stirred your tea once or twice too often and made a noise by banging the spoon on the side of the cup, then he might explode right there with the clotted cream. Yeah.
Do you think Boris stands any chance of winning? Probably not, is it? It's going to be Ken Livingstone again.
Well, there was a survey which I'll get to in a minute that surveyed 1,000 people, and they're more or less neck and neck.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But then that could be 1,000 dopes. They could be completely unrepresentative of the population as a whole.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, what do you think about Ken Livingstone? What do you think about him, what he's done?
For no earthly reason, I, like the rest of the population, just there becomes a tipping point when you even if they're doing a tremendous job, and I won't comment one way or the other, they just get sick of the same face over and over and over again. And so, without rhyme or reason, we'll just say next, and we want to change. Mm-hmm. And I think that we've sort of come to that point.
Yeah.
But then I said that last time, and it all stayed the same. Oh, well, I know nothing. Don't ask me, Charlotte.
No. Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, dear. You keep your eyes peeled, all right?
Yes.
Cheers, my dear. Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Keep your eyes peeled and your desk locked. That's very important. Keep all those important documents off the desk and keep them locked away.
From prying eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Loose lips sink ships.
What? All right, yeah.
That wasn't completely relevant to what I was just saying, but, you know, all those important documents that you got on your desk down there, it's probably strewn with them, right?
Yeah.
Confidential information, you want to keep that locked away.
What, her desk or mine?
Yours. Well, hers especially, but she'll be doing that as a matter of course, having signed the Official Secrets Act, like what I have.
I've just got a copy of The Sun on my desk.
Well, there could be information in that could give succour to our enemies abroad.
That is true.
Yeah. Particularly on page 3.
I didn't get round to page 3.
Oh, of course you didn't. That wasn't the first thing you looked at. No, naturally. Let's have South Norwood. Oh, Philip.
Good evening, Nick.
It's Mr. Lister.
And we got a tremendous thing tonight. We finally made it after all these weeks. The USA Today final top 25 list.
Right, let me explain what USA Today is. It's, I believe it's America's only general interest national paper. I mean, they do have the International Herald Tribune, but that's more of a national paper of America,
That's
isn't
a
it?
combine, I believe, about 2 or 3 papers.
Yeah, it's not national, I mean an international.
Yeah.
It sells more outside the US than it does in. But useless today, because it costs so very much, and has nothing in it. I mean, there's, what, 6 pages, if that?
Well, no, I disagree, but we've been to that before.
Yeah. All right, and so recently, because it's their birthday or something, yes?
Yeah, coming up for their birthday.
Right. Which birthday is it?
It's their 25th birthday.
25th?
Yeah.
But a sapling in the world of papers. They've
It's
been
much bigger in America. It's a sort of a lighter edition, I do agree, over here.
America's a funny place for newspapers. I think that we are served better in this country for newspapers than any other country in the world. I mean, you can object to much of what they write, but there's a broader range of opinion and type of story type available in this country than anywhere else in the world. America, for instance, mostly has just local newspapers which are just filled with a list of recent deaths in your area. I'm going to take the news. I'll come back. All right.
Okay,
If you dream of being a
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Well, let's get back to it.
Thanks for waiting, Philip.
There's no problem.
So you have a list of it's 25 top whatever it is
News stories
to celebrate the 25 years that USA Today has been selling the few copies that it manages to pass out to Americans, but not us.
Well,
except for you.
Certainly, yes.
Yeah. So what's the topic today?
The topic today is the top 25 news stories of the past 25 years.
Right, okay, so before you give them to us, let's see if we can make a list of most of them. So
Yeah.
9/11 will be number 1.
No, it's not.
What?
When I saw that, I thought, well, yes, well, it's not. No, 9/11 is number 2.
Number 2, something bigger than 9/11.
Yes. Or at
Holy
least the opinion of
macaroni.
the people, who compiled this.
From the last 25, okay, it'd be the falling of the iron, of the what is it?
Fall of communism.
The Iron Curtain.
You're right. Number 1.
There you go, you see.
Yes, you haven't got a copy of the studio.
No, I haven't, I promise I haven't.
I thought, I bet he's gone out and bought a copy.
No, I wouldn't waste my money. Because I know that you would.
Yes.
For me, yeah. Okay, so 9/11 and the Iron Curtain. Right, well, we've got to get at least half of the top 10, otherwise you will be considered a failure, Chris.
All right, how about Arnold Schwarzenegger becoming governor?
Oh, do shut up.
No, he's not there, no.
Absolute rubbish.
No.
Well, what? Okay, you do better.
Well, I just did. I got the first 2. Number 3 will be, okay, is it a political, story?
The political story, yes. In many ways, yeah.
It will be, it's not Monica Lewinsky, is it?
No. She's there. I mean, indirectly she's there, but I will come to that. But, no. Do you want me to tell you what it is, number 3?
Well, it's Bill Clinton being handed out of office.
Well, that's way down the list. That is on there, yes.
Okay.
In the sense that, it's the fact that he was impeached.
Right. Okay, so, I'm going to give up trying to get them in order now, because that's...
Right, well, just you give me and I'll tell you if it's on the list.
Okay, come on, boys, you must have, some thought.
Barry Bonds in the home runs?
No, that I think was probably too late to make it.
Right.
If it would have done, but I think it's a very good list.
Well, the Iraq,
yeah, number 3, the Iraq.
Right.
The Iraq War. It's a war in 2 acts, it said. First came a conventional conflict, and then,
And then there was an interval
Protracted
where we
struggle.
all went to the bar and got a drink.
The protracted struggle.
Yeah, and then we came back and it was just the same thing again. Yeah.
Oh, do you want a clue for number 5? Number 4.
Go on then.
Number 4 is a big wind.
A big wind.
Where?
The hurricane,
Yep.
whatever it was.
Hurricane Katrina.
Oh yeah, of course, Hurricane Katrina.
Right. Number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, get your cars out. We're going for a chase.
Oh, not the world's slowest and most boring car chase. The former running back. What's his the guy who appeared in Airplane?
OJ.
OJ. How could I forget
Capricorn
that?
1,
Yeah.
Capricorn 1.
Capricorn 1, excellent film.
Yeah.
In fact, that was more of a documentary than a film, actually, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little story about that some other time.
Okay.
Right.
You're rationing out the goodness, are you, Philip?
Pardon, sorry?
You're teasing us with it.
No, you carry on. Carry on. What else is there?
Okay, well, give us the topic, and I'll tell you what the story is.
Well, a story that concerned happened in our land, on our shores, is number 25.
Well, 7-7.
No.
No, that's not big enough, actually, is it?
Concerned an American, happened Scotland.
American that happened? Oh, the Lockerbie thing.
Yeah, Lockerbie's number 25. Pan Am Flight 103 in 1988.
Yeah.
There are a couple that are, I would say, not light-hearted, but are not really, stories that were in this country. Number 24 is gay marriage in 2003.
That didn't really happen. I think they had it in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's right.
didn't they?
Massachusetts in 2003.
Right.
And then the next year, 11 states passed bans on same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
Terry Shobo was number 23. She was a girl who suffered brain damage. 8 years later, her husband asked the court to have a feeding tube removed.
Right.
22, the Beirut Marine barracks bombing in 1983.
Yeah.
21, the Iran-Contra affair.
Yeah, none of these are actually going to be... well, you have said that there are several light-hearted ones.
Well, I
but-
don't mean light-hearted. What I mean is ones that are not, that would not read to us.
Okay. But it's not going to be a happy list, this, really, is it? If it's big news stories, they don't deal in happy
Could
news
be,
people.
could be, yeah, I mean, looking at it. Number 20, you mentioned, I think it's been mentioned, in other lists that we've had.
Yeah.
It's just got a statue in London again, or his second statue.
Oh, the release of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, that's number 20.
Have you seen the statue yet,
I
boys?
saw the old one,
No.
but
Yeah.
you can't see it from the train anymore. The one outside the festival hall.
Oh, they've moved it. It's
Have
around.
they?
It's around the corner. I'm sure it's still there.
Because I know they put boards up on Charing Cross, so you used to be able to see it as you went by.
Everyone should go down to the South Bank. Oh, I shouldn't say that. No one should go down to the South Bank because it's getting busy enough down there as it is. You can't find a seat. But they've put all of these seats outside the Royal Festival Hall, the renewed Royal Festival Hall. They spent tens of millions of pounds on the inside of the Royal Festival Hall.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Have you ever been in it? I've never been in it.
Yeah, well, yes, of course I've been in it.
Oh.
You should go in to get your pint.
I see.
Then we go out and sit outside.
Oh, I said, no, I mean, ever since I remember it was built, but I've never actually...
It is a delight. It's one of the nicest squares to sit in the whole of London, because there's what we have a lack of in this town are nice places to sit out that you don't have cars thundering by. Because they have it in France and Germany and Luxembourg and every other country in Europe has squares that people can sit in without breathing in lorry fumes.
Yeah.
That's one of the few. The only other one I can think of off the top of my head is, Leicester Square doesn't count because it's just like sitting in a giant ashtray, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is out in the Docklands.
Oh,
They've
yeah,
got many
out there,
places
yeah.
out in the Docklands that are
Yeah,
car-free
walk,
to sit out and have a little, a nibble and some booze. Yeah.
I agree with you there, but...
But it's completely reformed and reinvigorated, the South Bank. You should definitely go and have a look.
I'll check it out.
All right.
Number 18, Tiananmen Square,
Right.
1989.
Try Googling that in China and nothing will come up.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of censor quite a bit, don't they, so I'm told.
Yeah, the Google people, whose motto is "Don't be evil." Isn't that their motto? I think it's something like that. Don't be evil. They were not evil, perhaps, but they contributed to the dissemination of evility. What? Write that down. That's the worst sentence anybody has ever uttered in the English language.
Yeah, it's Yes, I've got the picture here of the guy standing in front of the tanks.
One of the most iconic images of all time.
Yeah.
I can remember watching that live.
Whatever happened to him? Did he taken away, arrested, or what? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
No, I don't either. 17 is the Challenger explosion.
He would have been erased from the books, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably.
The Challenger, yes.
1980.
See what I mean? None of these are happy stories, are they?
The next one was a really interesting one and a big controversy in America. The Branch Davidians, the Waco.
Oh, those wacko nuts, yeah.
And big story. Number 15 is very similar.
Can you believe that they came from a place called Wacko?
Well, here, Waco. Waco. I mean, you've been around America, you go and say
Well, you say Waco, I say Wacko.
Yes.
Yeah, let's call the whole thing off.
Yes. There was a TV series called Wacko.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the distant past.
Right.
Comedy series on BBC. 15 is the Rodney King incident. The white Los Angeles police officers.
Yes. The guy who was evading capture and had a criminal record as long as your arm and was abusive and violent towards the officers who dealt out some strict justice right there on the side of the road. And the only thing was that modern technology means that everyone is a news cameraman now.
Yeah. It says that the riots, more than 50 people died in the riots that followed it.
Yeah, and Rodney King got $1 million, I think, didn't he?
Did he? That was,
I think it's something like that, yeah.
The Tsunami's 13.
Yeah. Carol, our own Carol, was caught up on the tsunami.
Yeah.
She was in a bungalow room in a hotel.
Yes.
In other words, on the ground level.
Oh, wow.
On the beach. As the wave came in, she was asleep. She was trying to sleep off some booze because it was Christmas the previous night, and it happened on Boxing Day, right?
Oh wow!
She'd been out on the lash the previous day, and she was woken up with the rising tide in her room.
Oh,
she had to climb out the window and get on the roof.
Oh wow!
She lost everything, and she had one shoe, and she had to hike up the hill and be assisted by a barman up the hill, I think.
Oh, but we haven't got any video of that.
Yeah. She had to get up without breakfast, and, she needed a Bloody Mary, something like that. She was wandering around saying, "Help me, booze."
I wonder if she's listening. Number 12, the death of Diana.
Right.
Number 11, the Columbine massacre.
Yes. One of many.
Yeah.
Seems to be fashionable these days.
Yes, it says that it was a precursor to the 2007 massacre at Virginia Tech, where 33 people died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 10, Chernobyl.
Right. None of this is very pleasant.
I know. I'm going to apologise.
Chernobyl. I half saw something on the news the other day that the Russians are keeping people in villages around Chernobyl that are still so radioactive you could light your fag on them.
Yeah.
And they're just conducting a giant experiment on the people that are living there, who literally have lumps growing out of them.
Yeah.
But the Russian government won't help them. What nice people to do business with.
Number 9, I was in America when this happened, and I've got a little story to tell you about the newspaper coverage. The Oklahoma City bombing in 1995.
Yeah.
I was down in Florida, and it happened one day, and because the English papers, and there was a hotel next to where I was staying that had English papers, and I went in to get a Daily Mail the following day, and the guy who was selling them said to me, he said, "I've just been reading your American paper, your English paper," he said, the coverage was much, much better than ours. And he had this amazing picture on the front page, probably on the front of the Mail, of the building with the hole in the side.
Yeah. Well, the coverage was better in the English papers, because, as I say, America doesn't really have a proper national paper like that. We have 10, 12, something like that.
Yeah.
And, well, it's a bit less than that now, isn't it? Many folded. But they don't really have that there. They just have local newspapers, which are just full of local news, and then supplements and magazines and so on. But the newspapers are just recent deaths in your area.
He was, as I say, before I even bought the copy, he said he was, really impressed, and he'd shown it to several people.
Yeah.
8, the Afghanistan invasion in 2001.
Right.
The one that you mentioned...
That's not going to end well, either. I mean, if Russia went in and they couldn't quell the Afghanistan nation with the lack of of international scrutiny that Russia could operate under. I mean, they didn't operate under the Geneva Convention, or they had nothing holding them back, and they were driven out too.
Yeah.
So, it's not going to go well.
I think people forget that the Russians went in there.
Yeah. I mean, we have the full glare of the world's media on us. The Russians didn't. They could do pretty much what they wanted. The gloves were off for them. We're fighting with one hand tied behind our back, and so we've got no chance. But anyway, go on.
Right. So,
hey, I'm past the break.
Oh, right, okay.
Have we got many more?
Well, actually, we're down to number 7, but you've already mentioned a lot, so we'll be able to skip through the top half because you've already mentioned them.
All right. So is that it or not?
No, number 7.
All right, hang on a minute. It's 7:46. Here's Travel with Alan Joyce.
Thanks, Nick. And in the city...
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Affirmative.
Philip.
Yes, number 7, the Clinton... I know you want to put everybody out there busy. Clinton impeachment,
right.
1998.
Yes.
With that woman, Monica...
Who he did not have sexual relations with.
He denied doing anything proper with her.
Yeah. But what he actually did, he didn't count as sexual relations. Right. Everybody else does, not him.
Yeah. Number 6, the 2000...
In fact, if I had what he had, I'd be shouting about it and running around in the street. I'd have a T-shirt made up.
And you'd be in the top 25. 2000 presidential election, it came down to a 5...
Oh, the hanging Chad.
A 5-4 vote by the Supreme Court that ended a Florida recount.
Yeah, those dopes in Florida, those silly old farts who can barely see over their steering wheels that drive around in Florida. They're so small and ancient. They couldn't figure out how to use the world's easiest voting machine. So they screwed it all up. That's right.
The top 5, I'll go through them. You've already mentioned them. O.J. Simpson, number 5.
Yeah.
Number 4, Hurricane Katrina.
Now, O.J. Simpson, he did that car chase, the world's slowest and most boring car chase, holding a gun to his own head.
Yeah.
As though...
Did you come to his head? I didn't...
Yeah, well, he was driving along, and the police had to keep back because he was holding a gun not at a hostage's head, at his own head.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
His criminal trial ended in a controversial acquittal.
Yeah, it ended in him playing golf for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's right. He's still trying to find a partner, mind.
Has that book come out? Well, didn't he write a book?
I think, he was threatening to write a book.
Yeah.
In fact, he did, didn't he?
He did, but there was some talk about it was going to be a serialisation in the American papers.
Didn't Murdoch's company initially say they were going to publish it, and then there was this giant furore, if that's how you pronounce it.
I saw some of the... sorry, Nick. I saw some of the... couple of the people that were the lawyers. When I was in Toronto, they were in for a book signing. What was the woman's name? I can't remember her name.
What,
the DA, the district attorney.
Right. I mean, he had so many lawyers.
Yeah. This was the prosecuting.
Right. No, I can't remember.
Yeah, she wrote a book and she was in Toronto signing it, and all the people all around her, sort of protecting her. Number 4.
And the book that we were referring to was O.J. Simpson said he was going to write a book. If I did it, here's how it happened.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
But I suppose it's double jeopardy, isn't it? He's been cleared, and so even if any damning evidence, I can't think of what the actual phrase is, but damning evidence will do. Even if they show up with the actual knife with his fingerprints on it, he still can't be convicted of the crime that he's just been. Because once innocent, always innocent.
Yeah.
Even if you're totally guilty.
Got a picture of him here with his number. Number 4, Katrina.
Yeah.
Number 3, the Iraqi War.
Right.
Number 2, the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Yes.
And number 1, the fall of communism.
Right.
It says at the bottom of the page, Nick, if you want to see all the 25 lists, if anybody wants to look at what they were, you go to top25.usatoday.com, and if you want to put in your list, you can send it into top25@usatoday.com.
/ anything?
No, it just says top25.usatoday.com.
.com/lists.
No, it doesn't say that. If you go to it, you get the page.
All right, Philip. I'm winding you up.
Oh, I do apologise. Anyway,
thanks a lot, mate. That was a good job. Well done.
I've enjoyed doing it.
Cheers. Ta-da.
Okay.
This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. Going away to come right back.
LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
So, from that list of 25, which was your favourite story of mass death and destruction?
Oh, God, have I got to pick one?
It's not a happy list, is it?
No.
I've started watching, you know, am I alone in thinking that the coverage that the Maddie story is getting has got a little too much? I was watching the BBC 24 News and flipping to the Sky News, and you couldn't find any other stories on either 24-hour news TV service, because that's the only thing that they were covering.
I think it has a lot to do with also what other stories are around at the time.
There's no end of stories. It's the world. You can have stories coming out of your ears on any given day of the world. Even on Christmas Day, there's other things happening.
Yeah, but
there is. Millions of people are dying in Darfur, and you know, Afghanistan has not exactly been cleared up. Neither has Iraq. Pakistan's nuclear secrets are being flogged here, there, and the entire country might fall at any minute, and all of their nukes might fall into terrorist hands. I mean, that's quite a large story, you'd think. Not a mention of it, because it's wall-to-wall Maddie. It's a terrible story, there's no doubt about it, but come on, can we get some perspective here? You know what, I went up to the Euronews, they had it. I went to CNN, they had it. I had to start watching Al Jazeera, which is actually not a bad news service, because it was the only TV news service that was on in English that did not have the Maddie story on all weekend long. It was just painful.
Isn't it also to do with what pictures are easily obtainable and what's the best coverage that they can get?
Well, yeah, but the pictures that they had weren't worth putting on. The Sky briefly had somebody coming in and doing a newspaper review, which they put onto half the screen. The other half of the screen, I kid you not, was a still shot of the outside of their house, with nothing happening. But it was still taking up half the screen while they were talking about something else. So they moved briefly onto another story, but kept the Maddie story going all the while, even though there was nothing to report.
But they also, it's also to do with they want to try and beat their competitors. So if, like, you know, one big news channel's covering the story, then the other big news channel wants to try and beat their coverage and try and get better pictures and better.
But there is no better. It's just all the same. There aren't any exciting pictures. It's not like 9/11 when it looks like a movie special effect, or you know, or whatever it might be. They normally go for the exciting pictures, regardless of what the story is. If it's got exciting pictures, then it will make the news, you know, regardless of its actual merit as a news story. But there are no exciting pictures with this story. It's just having it's like the Sex Pistols song, which I keep coming back to over and over again. Johnny Rotten was right. It's a cheap holiday in other people's misery. But it's just got too much. And as I said, I had to go to Al Jazeera to get my news, because it was the only TV news company that was actually reporting the news, rather than just this story. It's just got too much. The Sun, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 42 and 43.
I think it's just become a competition.
Good grief.
They're just competing, aren't they, amongst themselves for the best pictures and the best.
You keep saying that.
That's what I think it is. That's all it is, because that's what they do, these news corporations, isn't it? Don't you think? You don't agree with that, do you?
Well, yes, you are right, but in this story in particular, they seem to be stuck in. I don't want to take any calls about this at all, because there's no. I mean, it'll be, you know. So those are my instructions to you, but it's just got too much. So I had to go to Al Jazeera for the news, which is terrible, really, because there's at least 3, 4, 5. News, 24-hour news services in English that I can think of. Even Fox News in America. They had some guy who used to do a talk show called Geraldo Rivera, who's, well, he's more like a comedy act than a journalist, really.
What, on the news?
Yeah. Even he, the wind blowing his moustache, was talking about Maddie as well, from all the way over there. 6,000 miles away.
Wow.
So I just, and so I had to get my news from Kuala Lumpur, which is where Al Jazeera came from. That's just terrible, isn't it?
And what do the rest of us do who don't have Al Jazeera?
Well, I don't know. You can switch the TV off. If anything happens, you'll know. In the meantime, they're just making up time by saying the same things over and over and over again.
It is very repetitive, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Oh.
Anyway, like I said, I don't want to take any calls about that, because that's not a happy story either. So far, it's just been misery and horror.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll pep ourselves up after the news by having a giant long bitch about Britney Spears, right?
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
It's happening. It's wild. And it's now.
So I, like everybody else in the country, was busily dialing up YouTube to see if we could have a good long laugh at Britney Spears.
And did you laugh?
No, I didn't laugh. No, I was a little bit surprised. My first thought was, oh gosh, she's a bit dumpy, as in fat.
Really?
My second thought was, what a ludicrous thing to think. No, she's not. She's totally normal. She just looks dumpy because you expect anybody on TV, like I said before, to be so thin that it barely looks like they're alive.
I was surprised about the amount of clothing she was wearing.
Really? You haven't seen MTV lately, have you?
No.
They're all like that.
I don't carry that channel.
Right. Well, it seems that that all videos are like that now.
Right.
And that's the only acceptable wear for a woman in the pop business. Underwear.
You know what I think? They were saying that she was lip syncing out of tune, wasn't it? Well, not out of tune. Out of
time.
And her dancing.
I think
was
you're
a little
lip
bit
syncing out of time.
I'm always lip syncing out of time, and her dancing was a little bit offbeat, wasn't it?
Yeah, like she was strolling around the shops.
I think it's part of a bigger plan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So she meant to look like that.
Yeah.
Let me take this call first. Hello, Barnett. Morel.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
Good. I was listening to you talking and Philip's list.
Yeah.
And thinking about all gloom and doom. You know, the papers, the news, there's never anything good.
That's right.
Or if it's minuscule. I found a good newspaper.
Huh.
That only gives you good news from around the world.
I bet it's not very popular.
Well, it's only just started, but I tell you what, you know, normally when you finish reading the papers and you get up and you think, I'm going to slip my wrists now.
Yes.
You can actually read this paper, Nick, and you get up and you feel good.
What's
and
it called?
Makes such a change. But you know when your brain, I'm sure it's either Good News Weekly or Good News Monthly. But it has, it's all, it's not just the UK.
Can I ask you a question about this? It's not one of those silly women's magazines that they check out in the supermarket.
No. It's not just one of these, you know, sort of what would you call it, these celebrity rubbish.
Right.
Things. It's got proper news, but rather than having people raped, stabbed, kidnapped, poisoned, shot, it's got the good things that are happening in the world. And it really is a revelation. It honestly is, Nick. It makes, because you open up a paper, okay, and from start to finish, it's all death and destruction.
Yes, misery.
Turn on the news, that's all it is.
That's right.
And there are good things happening in the world, and it really does. I'm not saying everything's rosy.
Well, there has to be more good things happening in the world than bad, because otherwise we'd have all just given up.
Exactly. And isn't it nice occasionally to get up and think, do you know what, hey, I'm alive, and nobody's being killed in my next street.
Much as the sun gives you a nice warm feeling both inside and out, it makes you happy just to see it, then having a weekly dose of good news could have the same effect. I like that idea.
The only problem I have with the sun, it's not 50-50. If we're going to have naked women...
Oh, no, I didn't mean the paper. I meant the big yellow ball in the sky. I mean, I know it hasn't been out that much lately, but there's a big yellow ball in the sky, and it's called the sun.
Fair enough.
Not the other sun, that sun. The sun.
The sun that's actually shining in the sky.
Yeah, there's a sun in the sky, and it's called the sun. Yeah.
But it's ever so good. I'd say to you, look for it, because you will get up, Nick, and you will be full of beans.
Well, I'll look forward to that. I love being full of beans. Thanks, Morel.
Take care, bye.
That was literally, I'm thanking her for the good news. Good News Week.
Yeah, you gonna get it?
As in, it's Good News Week.
Yeah.
I need that machine that Britney Spears uses so that she sounds in tune on her songs. What's that called? Auto-tune, I think.
Is it?
Maybe she doesn't use it, but everybody else in pop does. Which is why they can't sing live. They all lip-sync while they're jiggling themselves about. Because they can't actually do it live, because they don't have the machine that makes them sound great in the studio.
Yeah.
Steve Allen was talking about that to a guest that he had on Saturday night. Guest's name, I don't know, I'm afraid. But he doesn't mention their name very much. Once he started talking to them, he never mentions their name, so I've got no idea who he's talking to. But it's always interesting.
Yeah.
He's a good interviewer.
Okay.
Anyway, what were you saying?
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I think, that Britney Spears, singing out of time is all part of a bigger master plan.
Right.
Because she can do it, because you've seen her before perform, and, she can do it really, really well. And so, to do a performance like that, then surely she's doing it for a reason. Maybe it's just to get the coverage.
Do you believe any of this stuff that you say, or are you just saying it in order to present the opposite opinion to anything that's gone before?
No, I believe it.
Do you?
Honestly, because I think...
I'd say it must be lovely being you, because you always come out with the best of everything.
Because...
I mean, you put the best slant on everything you say. I mean, you're a very positive person.
Very positive person.
You must have, it must be like being in a Walt Disney cartoon, your life. Little Tweety birds, little cartoon Tweety birds flying about, and in your mind you're going, la la la.
You've been spying on me.
But I think that's charming, don't you?
What's wrong with that, though? Because she's a professional singer.
Yes.
And performer.
Right.
So, to do a performance like that, then surely she's aware she's doing that.
She didn't seem to be aware of very much at all. Let me speak to somebody who's seen it. Nottingham. Hello, Carl.
Hello there, Nick. How are you?
All right, thanks, yeah.
Brilliant. I've just found your show again. I used to listen to you on a different radio station some years ago, back when you had your South Park epidemic.
Right. I'm over here now.
Yeah, I know. It's brilliant. I've only just found you, so listening. And anyway, Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Well, she looks good, doesn't she? But her weight seems to be going up and down all over the place.
Yeah, but come on, she's not actually fat. She seems healthy.
I'd say she's healthy.
Maybe not mentally healthy, but...
not. Why would you shave your hair otherwise?
Well, a lot of people shave their hair. No, not a lot of women, mind you, but, yeah, I get it.
Unless you talk about Enya and that, but they used to look good.
Enya is still going. Every time that there is a year-end list of the... the Sunday Times often does on a yearly basis, they do how much famous people have earned. Enya is always like #1 in Ireland. She keeps producing. No one that I know, or no one that I know knows any people that bought any Enya music, but somebody's out there doing it.
There must be someone. Perhaps it's a conspiracy. Perhaps she's buying it herself. No, but I saw the outfit that Britney was wearing, and actually,
Was she inside trying to get out, or outside trying to get in? No one has any idea.
It was inside trying to get out.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm 25 and I've had my brief period of finding her very attractive when she was a bit younger, and now it just seems she's trying a little bit too hard to she should give up. She should really give up, go back to being a mum and earning her royalties that way, because let's face it, the songs she's bringing out now, they're rubbish.
I heard it several times today, and I couldn't whistle it if my life depended on it. It does not pass the old grey whistle test.
Definitely not. What sort of music would you prefer to listen to?
Well, I like pop, I mean, she's had one of the greatest pop songs of all time, and I'll take no argument about it. The first hit that really put her over, and one of the best videos as well.
Of course it was, but you're going to say that as a bloke, and so am I.
Well, no, that has nothing to do with it. It was just an excellent video. And that song, those 2-3 notes, da-da-da... I mean, she didn't write it, mind. And I saw the chap who did write it. He was probably one of those Channel 4 top 40, when they can't think of anything else, they put a top 40 of whatever it is on, and that'll take up 4 hours. And,
it wasn't Simon Cowell, was it?
No, it was the chap who actually wrote that. And he said that it was just nothing at all. It was just like tooling around on the piano, and he said ding, ding, ding. And that's nothing. When you just play it on the piano, it doesn't sound like anything at all.
I mean,
then you spend £100,000 on production, and then you have a worldwide hit.
And then there's that magic box you've got to get her to sing into to make her voice sound right. Do you actually think it is her that sings, or do you think it is somebody else?
No, I think it's her that sings. Not necessarily in concert. Well, she's not singing live, but then she's normally, having a cavort. on stage.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to do what she does and sing at the same time.
Yeah.
I think
That's why Madonna doesn't do that very much.
No, but then again, Madonna, she's fantastic for her age, and she can sing live as well.
See,
so.
everybody says that sentence, and then they always put in that backhanded slap for her age. Nicely done, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, mate.
Time. Bye.
Yeah, but this, I mean, it's had. If you look on YouTube, I bet it's had 1 million hits now. It was so difficult to get on. I thought that the company had taken it off because a lot of companies have been very upset with YouTube for putting copyright material on there.
Yeah.
And they're suing them for $100 billion or something, some just ludicrous number that they just make up, don't they? Knowing that they're never going to get it, but that's what they want. But it was so hard to get onto that I thought they'd actually removed it. But it was just hard to get onto because the entire world was dialing up Britney Spears just for a quick laugh.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if, there's a big tour announced soon by Britney Spears.
Well, that's an interesting point, because how do you get your name in the papers?
Yes.
PR, when that usually these days amounts to admitting to taking drugs, going to rehab, and doing a My Drug Hell confessional piece in the newspapers.
See, what I think's happening is she did a bad performance, that gets a load of press, so then her next performance, whenever that is,
will be sensational.
Will be amazing,
yeah.
And they'll go, oh look, she's amazing again, and then she'll announce a world tour.
Right.
Ka-ching.
You know what, I think you might have something there.
It's easy peasy, isn't it? I could be a PR agent.
Yeah, yes, you could. In fact, you can start right now. I'll detail My Drug Hell as we come back from the travel. It's 8:15. Here's travel with Amanda Redmond.
We're looking much better.
0870 90 973. Nick Abbott.
I want to show you something.
And she did. She showed us everything, Britney Spears.
Yes.
There was a little piece in the in one of those free giveaway. Here, have this, so you don't have to look at your fellow passengers as they give it to you on the tube going home. I think it happened too late for the main
edition.
Papers. Yeah. So she'll be all over the papers tomorrow.
Yes.
Front page, I bet, on the Super Soaraway. Because that's a ready-made picture for the Sun right there, isn't it? I mean, their dreams came true when she stepped out into the spotlight wearing that. Well, it looked like she's trying on her underwear.
Well, again, she's got herself in the papers.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe you do have something there. Maybe it was entirely planned. That she just looked like she was on an entire rainbow-coloured selection of pills.
It just
ups and downs and in and outs and left and right, so she didn't know where she was.
It just seemed a bit weird that, she would do a performance like that when all her performances in the past have been, like, really professional and, really entertaining.
She did look like she was on a lot of pills, didn't she? Or a lot of something. She just kind of, like, bumbled her way through, and she had to get help down from the upper level to the lower level of the stage, and she sort of landed with a thud. And the what little fat that she does have on her was jiggling, which was a bit of a surprise because you don't normally see that on TV. Normally they are lithe, like too lithe, like starved lithe, which was why it was so strange to see like a normal-looking person on TV.
Yeah, it looks odd, doesn't it?
Especially American television, where everyone is airbrushed and honed to within an inch of their lives. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the other thing. She's going to also tone down now for her next big gig, which all the papers will compare.
She'll have an 8-pack.
Yes.
Lewisham, hello, Sarah.
Hello, Nick. Hi. Nick, I wanted to have a little bit of a rave on air, or around there, rather. Now, your producer has asked me not to mention the company, so I won't. I promised I won't, and I won't. But 2 weeks from tomorrow... I've been for the last 2 weeks trying to connect my phone. And every time I try to phone, I do wonder whether they're still in business or what they want my business, because they keep telling me it's very important to them, my call's very important to them. Yes. I've been calling at a time, and I've been put on hold for about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And today I phoned from work, and my boss said, go ahead, and I was just feeling embarrassed. I thought, I'll do it in the evening. Well, I've been in the call box downstairs, in that smelly phone box, since you've been on air. And
an hour and 20?
Yes, I have. Yes. And now,
I'm amazed that you can still breathe.
Well, there's no point to my call anymore, and I did promise your producer, I'm not going to say it, but I wanted to shame them on air.
Right.
Now, your producer says, look, that's your side of the story.
You know what, Sarah? It doesn't matter who they are. They're all like that. If you want to call any company that you're doing business with, then you have to set aside the entire day.
Well, thank you, because I was going to ask you that, because, your producer said, well, it's your side of the story. Well, the fact is, I have been on the phone to them. Right. There is only one side. That is a fact. What their reasons for keeping me on that long, I don't know.
Well, the reason is that they're not spending any of the money that you're giving them on customer help.
Well, exactly, because about 18 years ago, I worked in one of these centres I did about a 6-month stint. Yeah. And I know how they work. So they've got 2 people on there, someone else is having coffee, and the calls drop in when they drop in, and I'm trying to give them my money. I'm trying to get them. Do you want my money? If I am such a precious customer to you, why have I spent the last hour and a half in a urine smelling? It looked, in the end, it looked like I was touting for business. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
You know what, Sarah? Let me just stop you there for a second.
Nick, before you do, can I just say that I wanted to name them and say, well, shame them, and you come on it and you tell me why I have been. Sorry, you tell me. I am giving them the opportunity to tell me why I have been on hold for an hour and a half. But as I promised your producer, I'm not going to mention. Sorry, go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
You are a woman on the edge, Sarah. Let me give you a piece of advice from someone who knows.
Go ahead.
Calm down. I am telling you, you'll be going to your doctor. Your heart will be beating all over the place, and you'll be on pills for the rest of your life. I promise that's true. You're not doing yourself any good.
But if you try to contact them through the internet, it's one of those, the computer says no.
Yeah.
Because you have to have an account with them. Hello, but that's what I'm trying. Sorry to tell.
Well, are you locked in with any contract with them?
No.
Okay, so you haven't. There's nothing that they have of yours that would cost you any money if you just went with another company.
But can I? Well, that's what I want to know. Can I do that? Because the line has been installed and everything.
Right. Well,
it was just cut off. Can I go with any company?
If you've signed something, then the answer is probably no.
No, but I haven't signed anything. What I'm trying to say is,
I can't answer that question, Sarah, because I really don't know. But I would investigate further.
In the old days, you had to have the line put on by, and then
by the government,
if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, before you could go.
Now they can just switch you on from a remote location and charge you for it. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well,
but what you have to do, Sarah, is just let go. Just let go of it, because it's not going to get any better. Believe me. Calling up a giant organisation is always a living hell.
Yeah. Well, you know, Nick, I'm really, really glad. I've just spent 4 months on the continent, and I'm really, really glad I've come back to, the civilised first world country, where I've been kept on the phone for, an hour and a half. And I just wanted to have a rant. Sorry, thanks for allowing me on.
That's all right, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. You're going to need it. Yeah, hands up anyone who's happy with their telephony company? Anyone at all? No one?
No.
No, not one single person. Either that or their broadband supplier or mobile phone companies seem to have got their act together, or maybe I've just been lucky.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot of people have moaned about their mobile phone companies.
That's true.
You just switch on and then that's it, right?
That's because they've kind of been around now for quite a while, and they've kind of sorted out all the little glitches and stuff like that.
But I think that the companies just blurt into... Where are we? Were you nodding at the clock?
No, I was just glancing at it.
Oh, I see, right. I thought I'd made a mistake. But they just seem to blurt into the business. Blurt?
Blurt? Yeah, blurt.
Blurt. Is that a word?
Yeah, it sounded odd when you said it, but you blurt it out.
Yeah, that's right, blurt. It's one of those words, if you say it a few times, suddenly you wonder if it's actually a word at all.
Yeah.
Blurt, 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 blurt. Around about now, you think this doesn't mean anything. Anyway, they just seem to come in without any knowledge of how they're going to actually run the business and set themselves up, and boom, off they go. And then everybody signs up because they promise to be cheaper than everybody else. And the part that they've completely forgotten about or haven't given a moment's thought about is how they're going to switch everybody on and how they're going to take the calls of complaint when they don't. And the amount of grief that I went through with my broadband supplier, I can't even begin to relate it. I mean, I could write a book. In fact, I have done. I've written down all of the conversations that I've had with them on the phone.
Really?
And they'll say, oh, yes, well, we'll refund you that amount. First, you have to pay it.
Yes.
Pay the amount that you don't owe us.
Oh, yes.
And then we'll refund it to you.
Yep.
What the hell is that about?
Because they have to have the money to to give it back.
Shut up.
Just I had major problems trying to...
And then they'll say, OK, we know you paid it, and we'll refund this on your next bill. And the next bill comes out, and they don't. They charge you double what they should ordinarily be doing, so you call them up, and they say, oh, yeah, OK, well, you keep paying us double what you should be paying us, and we'll refund you on the next bill. And then the next bill comes out, and they haven't done it, and then the next bill comes out, and they haven't done it, and then you're just tearing your hair out. And one of the greatest inventions since the invention of the phone is the receiver on dialing thing, where you just press a button and you don't have to hold the receiver to your ear. What's that called?
Speaker?
On hook dialing, whatever it's called.
Is it?
So that you don't actually press the phone to the side of your head for an hour and a half, because after a while you realise that your ear is burning up because you're actually pushing the phone into your head so hard that it might come out the other side.
That's anger,
because you're so annoyed, exactly. Yeah, and you have to, Sarah, you just have to let it go, because otherwise you will do yourself internal physical damage.
It took
like I did.
It took 2 months longer than it should have for me to get my broadband phone line and all that package, TV package, up and running.
You, me, and everybody else in the world.
And I sent a letter of complaint.
Oh, that'll do a lot of good.
Well, it didn't, and so then I had to send another letter of complaint about my letter of complaint to say I haven't heard anything from you about my first letter of complaint.
Right. Letters. People don't open letters anymore. Neither do they write them. You want to catch up with the rest of the world and use email. Oh no, it was because you weren't connected to the net that you had to write a letter.
Didn't have a telephone.
Yes.
Oh. I was just totally stuck.
I know, and they make it a nightmare, I'm sure, in order to stop people from changing their suppliers. Because, I mean, I've wanted to change mine for so long, but I know that I'll be then plunged again into another living nightmare.
Puts you off for life.
So you just want to find one that's more or less okay, and after the 6 months of going through hell, and you finally get plugged into the world, then you just want to leave it. You just want to back away and not touch anything. Yeah, I know. It's not just you, Sarah. It's me and everybody else listening to this show right now, I bet. I bet there is. I bet there's no such thing as an easy connection into the World Wide Wide.
See, I thought I had to send a letter because then they've got a hard copy. Do they always request hard copies?
I'm sure they don't even read them. They don't even open them. The address that you sent it to doesn't exist.
My letter of complaint was 4 pages long.
Yeah, well, that was ink well spent.
Oh, great.
They receive it in sacks at the post office, and they know it's a false address, and they just set fire to it.
BC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi, Bob. How are you?
Oh, hello. I'm still here.
How are you, Bob?
Oh, I'm here. I'm on here. Oh, here we go. Yes. Britney Spears. Her career's finished. It's moribund. It's dead.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm sorry. That was a mistake. We know how you are. Right, go on then.
Yeah, I was going to say, Britney Spears. Her career's over. It's finished. She's burnt out. She's 25, and she's done it all. And that performance I saw on the news today, and it was pathetic.
Is she actually only 25?
She's only 25.
Blimey.
And you say, yeah, she looks normal as far as her weight.
Yeah.
But she's going up on. So she couldn't remember her moves. And this is a woman who's meant to put on a show. If you compare Madonna, where she was in the same place in her career, 7 years
when she started, she was doing showstoppers for MTV. The MTV Awards is where you launch your careers, or you start your career, or you establish your career. And she's done neither in that performance. She came off like one of the bad contestants from the X Factor.
Actually, to me, she came off like a pole dancer.
Well, a bad pole dancer.
Yeah, like if you went to one of those clubs in the West End, you might see just such a thing. Yeah. Here's her new single.
I wouldn't even give her that much credit, because she came off like a drunk girl on a Saturday night on a dance floor. That's what she came off.
She looked like she was on a lot of medication, yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything for her was in slow motion. That's what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole world stopped. But it is quite sad, because she's had all this, all the pressures of fame and everything else like that.
Well, I'm not going to feel too sad for it. Do you know how much she earns? Guess how much she earns a month.
Well, I heard in a year it's $4 million.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Something like that. $4 million a year from doing nothing. I mean, when was the last time she actually had a hit?
Well, this is it. But the thing is, the most important thing for her is to have some longevity in her career.
Well, not really. Not if you're still earning $4 million a year. I mean, and she has in her account. She's got something, just a staggering amount. It must be up to about $100 million. I mean, she's comfortably well off.
That's nothing compared to Madonna, for example.
Yeah, but after a certain amount, I mean, after like 10 million, if you had 10 million in cash, how much better would your life be if you multiplied that by 10? Not at all, I would suggest.
If she did a good show yesterday, if she did a fantastic show, her net volume of monies would be double that. She'd be in 200 million.
But you know what? I think that Chris might have something there. Although I don't think that it was planned, because she just did look flat out of it. But this could be the start of a great return to form, because what are our newspapers full of? The red top tabloids are absolutely chock full of Kate Moss, Pete Doherty, Amy Winehouse, and anybody else who's taken a lot of drugs and reels around in public smashed off their face, right?
But for a career, you need to sell records, and you need to have popularity.
Well, I would suggest that Kate Moss has got all that money in the bank because she's been hanging out with Pete Doherty and has been implicated in a lot of drug taking.
Well, she doesn't have to sing, though, does she? She just has to look pretty in front of a camera.
Yeah, that's right. Well, she has to she has to convince giant international corporations to give her money.
Yeah,
and
the
thing.
The brand is still worth the Kate Moss brand is still worth backing, because it has an allure of mystery behind it. But what you got with Britney Spears and that performance last night, you compare her to Christina Aguilera, and they came out the same background, the Mickey Mouse Club and all that. And when she comes on stage, she owns the stage. That woman didn't even own her mind last night.
Okay, well, you dug a large hole for her. Thanks a lot, Bob. Cheers, mate. It's LBC, and I don't think it's that bad. If I were her, I wouldn't even bother showing up for work.
Wouldn't you?
That's how I would dress all the time. That or less. Just shuffling around my house. I just wear slippers. That's it.
See, what I don't get is when you like, say you release your first record and it makes you, say, 5 million, 10 million pounds. Right?
I'd love to hear that right now. Here we go. With the stacks of wax we had in the back since 1974. It's...
Yeah?
We haven't got it, though, have we?
No, afraid not. Yeah, when you release your first single, you get like 5 million quid in the bank for it. I'd give up then, wouldn't you?
We're very alike. We don't care about anything really. I wouldn't get out of bed if it wasn't completely necessary.
See, surely as soon as you're a millionaire, that's when you give up, isn't it?
I don't think that the money has. See, this is the reason that you and I will always be failures.
What? What are you on about?
It's because we don't have that get up and go. Get up and go. We didn't even have it. It hasn't even got up and gone.
Hasn't even passed us by.
That's right. We were never formally introduced to get up and go. And the actual monetary end of it is neither here nor there to most people who make a success of themselves, because they don't do it for the money. They do it for the it of it, the game, the fight. And we ain't got no fight, have we? We'd rather just lie back and let it all wash over us.
We prefer to cower in the corner.
Not cower, we'd just rather just not do anything. And people who'd rather not do anything, unless they're very, very lucky, spend their entire life drinking cellars, smoking a fag, and not watching Jeremy Kyle.
Oh.
having bye-byes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which the government now is going to make even more attractive by giving all mums, all pregnant mums, 120 quid in their 7th month of pregnancy, purportedly to go out and buy more fruit. What a ridiculous thing. It's going to cost us something like £80 million of our money is going for that. Have you ever heard of anything so silly in all your life? And it's just so that ungorgeous Gordon can stand up and say that he's doing something for mums. No, he's not. I mean, if they hadn't eaten any fruit up to that point, then they're hardly going to change now. And even if they do, even if they think, wow, this is manna from heaven, I'm going to go out and buy some nectarines, it's going to make not the slightest difference to an unborn baby if they've been having chips and smoking fags for 7 months. Is it? I've never heard of anything so silly in all my life.
Yeah, surely you have to eat the fruit and veg, long term.
Yes, exactly.
Just,
But... So people who do sit around and watch Trisha and drink, Carlsberg and smoke Capstan full strength, they're just going to spend that £120 on more fags, aren't they?
Well, that's the thing, it'll be into your 7th month of your pregnancy, and, I know your car needs taxing, and then 120 quid drops through your letterbox.
Yeah.
For your fruit.
I mean, you're not going to ring-fence that money to buy fruit and veg, are you? That's just plain silly. And neither is it going to make a light go off on in your head, thinking, oh, well, you know what, maybe I should put something in the in the shopping basket other than Sunny Delight and Pop-Tarts. It's not going to... If you haven't been eating fruit and vegetables up to that point, it's going to make no difference. So, in other words, it'll make no difference. Because if you're smart enough to eat right, then you will continue regardless.
Yeah, well, surely, because people who don't eat fruit and veg, it's because they don't like the taste of it.
No, it's because they don't like the taste of it. Well, that's a ludicrous thing to say, you don't like the taste of fruit.
Well, no, that's why people don't eat fruit, isn't it? Because they don't like the taste of it.
No, it's because they're too stupid.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I think...
How can you not like the taste of fruit? That's one of the silliest things ever come out of a human's mouth.
I don't like kiwis.
All right, don't eat them. There are a plethora of other fruits to enjoy.
I don't like most fruits.
What?
Actually, I don't eat fruit, full stop.
You don't eat fruit?
And so if 120 quid came through the door for me to eat fruit, then I'd have to, spend it on something else.
How can you not eat fruit?
Because I eat veg.
Yeah.
That's all right, isn't it?
Well, that's very good. Well done.
Thanks. But...
Wait, how can you not eat fruit? I'm mystified.
Because it's too...
Yes? Acidic?
Yeah, too healthy, and...
It's too healthy? I don't eat fruit because it's too healthy?
No.
Is that your position?
No, because there's never a right time for it.
The night time is the right time for eating fruit.
The night time?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, that's a song, isn't it? The night time is the right time for not eating fruit.
No, I just...
Getting fruity, I think it was the lyrics.
Just never have the urge for it. You gotta have the urge.
Well, do you like apples?
Yeah, all right.
What, eat an apple, then?
Yeah, but I don't
Do you like
them.
oranges?
No, because I don't like all that white, skinny bit.
Well, peel it off.
Oh, yeah, there's too much effort, isn't it?
Just
takes ages to peel it off.
Take the pith off.
I know, but you always miss a bit, don't you? And then you gotta spit it out.
Before you eat the orange, remember this. You can hone it down to just 2 words. Pith off. Hello, Joan.
Oh, hello.
Joan,
Nick.
how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I've just tried a sweet potato and I didn't like it very much.
Oh, blimey. You don't like fruit? This one doesn't like vegetables?
Well, I don't eat too many apples. They're far too acidic for me. I really don't. So there you go. But
right.
I was really going to talk about Afghanistan.
Fruit. How about
fruit.
Peaches, nectarines, blueberries?
But you know perfectly well you cannot get a decent nectarine or peach.
That's nonsense.
In the supermarket, they're too hard.
Can. Well, you let them ripen in the bowl.
Yeah, they never ripen. They
yes,
go all
they do.
squishy after a while.
Yeah, that's ripe.
No, they don't. I remember the first time I ever tasted nectarines. And we went into Italy from Austria or something, and I didn't even know what a kilo was. And I said, well, I'll have a kilo of those, please. And they were the most fantastic things I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
and it was just wonderful. But since then, I suppose really 2% of the time I've actually been able to find a nectarine that is ready for eating.
Well, just buy them, and then once they're ripe, then...
But they don't. They sit in a bowl. They sit in a bowl, and I think tomorrow, and tomorrow.
And tomorrow.
And then I throw them away because they just go funny.
Well, you must be doing something wrong.
Where do you get your wonderful nectarines from, then?
Oh, it's a place that begins with S and ends in Ainsbury's.
No.
Yes. Nectarines, peaches, you can have blueberries, and...
well, blueberries I must eat more of.
Yeah.
I really should.
Mangoes. Mangoes, man. It's the most delicious fruit that has ever been invented.
Yeah, it's okay, but you have to tackle that stone, don't you?
Oh, will you two stop whining?
I mean, the stone is a big problem.
Well, I'll send you around a packet of Spangles. They're fruit-flavoured.
No, I mean, I actually went to the market today in Kingston, and I got lovely, lovely strawberries. I got 2 punnets of beautiful English strawberries for $1.50.
Well, that's very good value.
So that was nice.
Yeah. Eat more red things, apparently. You must eat more red things.
Red peppers are good.
Yeah, red peppers, red and purple. Red and purple and yellow and blue. Everyone. Orange and purple. Sing a rainbow.
All right.
Anyway.
Exactly.
What did you call about?
Well, I call about Afghanistan because you and Philip were talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, as well as that, there was Chernobyl, wasn't there? But,
that's right.
You remember they made this great speech before they invaded Afghanistan, and they said, the moment we go in there, we are burning all the poppy fields right to the ground.
Oh, yeah, that's a hearts and minds policy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take away their only chance of making any money, that's
right.
Yeah,
but did they? No, they now say, well, they're either a third or the fifth of the whole drug industry comes from Afghanistan.
The poppy crop has doubled over the past few years since we've been there.
Yeah. And is that a surprise, or do you think actually some of the people that have taken over bits of Afghanistan might be in on the profit?
What, us, you mean?
Like us, maybe. Like America, maybe.
Well, I know that they've done that sort of thing before, haven't they?
Of course they have, haven't they?
Well, what I read this in the paper the other day, and what makes complete sense to me is that we should actually, instead of trying to do the farmers out of business, because what they're doing is, we can't protect them individually from the Taliban, because we're basically stuck in forts with a giant sign that says, mortars in here. We've just barricaded ourselves in. What we cannot do is go out and station a soldier in every little hut. And so the Taliban know this, of course, and so do the people who are living in the huts. So they are more frightened of the Taliban than they are of us. And the Taliban, of course, are making money out of the poppy crop. That's where they get their cash from. And so the poppy crop is not only important because it's the only way they're going to make money, but it's also important because it's the only way they're going to stop the Taliban from killing them. So burning the poppy crop is not going to make any difference. What we should actually do is buy it and turn it into medicine, because, a lot of medicine is based on morphine, right? Heroin, morphine, all that sort of thing, which apparently there is a lack of at the moment. So if we just went in and bought it, then we'd be pleasing the farmers, we'd be screwing over the Taliban because they wouldn't get any money from it, and everything would be rosy. I've got to go, Joan, because I'm past a break.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, my dear. Ta-da. 8:46. Here's Travel Now with Amanda Redmond.
Thanks very much, Nick. Well, I've got some really good news for you now.
EC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Me love you long time.
Who was that?
Me love you long time.
Oh, there is a bit of music in the background there. Yeah, I remember that. Boreham Wood. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Nick. You were talking about your broadband.
Oh, yeah.
And wanting to change.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change and not lose service, you ask for your MAC code.
Yeah, I know.
It gives you on your provider.
Yeah, but it still takes about a month. You can be dark for a month or more.
No, you shouldn't be dark at all. The whole idea of the MAC code on a transfer is that it gets changed on the same day. You're not dark at all. If they do it properly, there is no downtime apart from the time they actually switch the two machines over.
Now, I know that's true with mobile phones, because I've been through that.
It's
And
true
you-
on broadband as well.
Really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I should know because I set broadband up for people. So,
Right.
I mean, the other thing is, of course, is if you think you're paying too much, you phone up and say you want to cancel, and they put you through to the team that actually tries to keep you.
Yeah, a little light goes off above their little booth there that says
Warning, warning.
Yeah, they put you through to the customer happiness squad. Yeah,
Customer retention.
retention. That's right. Yeah,
And you can usually negotiate a cheaper price.
I've done that. I got half price instantly,
Yes.
which made me furious because I'd been paying double what I should have done for a year.
Indeed. The only thing you can't get out of is if you've got the free ones, they usually sign you up to an 18-month contract.
Yeah,
Or you've got your 12-month contract. You can only do it once you're out of contract.
right.
So, yes, they will try and keep you unless they're really not interested.
And so, are you part of a broadband supplier?
I'm not part of any particular supplier, but I do supply broadband.
Right. So you're an expert in the field.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but yes, I'm knowledgeable.
So how long is it going to be before we can get all of our TV over broadband?
You can get it right now.
Oh.
I supply Tiscali. Tiscali do it. BT do it. BT have their package, BT Vision. Tiscali do TV over broadband.
But is that over broadband? I thought it was just cable. That's not the same thing, is it?
No, over broadband. Tiscali
Right.
do it down your broadband line.
And how much juice do you need? How many megabits, or whatever they call it, do you need for high def, baby?
For high def, I reckon you probably want about an 8 meg line.
8 meg.
Lines are getting faster and faster all the time.
They're promising that they're getting faster. The number that they're saying, it's one of these, it's like a sales shop it's like a sales sign in the window. It says up to 75% off. Good luck on finding the 75% off one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way it works is it depends on the distance you are from your exchange.
Yeah, I've heard all this flannel before.
No, that part is true. And also the quality of the line you've got and the quality of the
Right.
exchange you're on. They are upgrading exchanges, but nowhere near as fast as they ought to be.
Right. Okay, well, thanks for the information, Richard.
That's all right.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Bye-bye.
So they can do it that day. Can being the operative word.
Yeah, he said if everything goes to plan.
Yeah, it's a giant two-letter word there. If. Here is Surrey. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Nick.
Paul.
I just wanted to take you back to the fruit subject.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't they issue vouchers to these pregnant ladies instead of cash?
Yeah, that's a very good idea. The vouchers that can only be redeemed for fruit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That will stop the trash from cashing them in for tenants extra and a packet of rock.
Yes. Well, it would. That's right. It actually would. Yeah. Good idea. Or just scrap the whole thing as a ridiculous notion. Or
Scrap the whole thing would be much better.
yeah, or just send a giant lorry of apples around to the local doctor, and they can go and pick some up for free.
Well, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that would be common sense to issue vouchers.
Well, there's no common sense doesn't get a look in here. But thanks a lot, Paul.
Right, thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Ta-da. Yeah, there's got to be a better way than just giving out £80 million of our money so that people can go out and buy more booze and fags.
I can't think of any.
Because if they haven't changed their behaviour by the 7th month of their pregnancy, then they ain't going to do it now, are they?
Surely they should eat the fruit at the start.
Yes, well, they should have been eating the fruit during conception, preferably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you don't eat, how about bananas?
Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh no? How can anyone not like bananas?
Well, the thing is, I like fruit-flavoured things.
Yeah.
But just not fruit in
Not
its...
the fruit itself.
Yeah.
No, well, you're making a lot of sense.
Well, bananas, I always get bruised ones, and the bruises kind of put me off. Don't they? Because they look a bit, like, manky, don't they?
Right.
You wouldn't, if you had a bruise like that on, like, a potato, you wouldn't eat that, would you?
Cut that bit out, yeah.
Yeah, but you cut, the bruises you cut a bruise out of a banana, and half your banana's gone.
But you don't like bananas, so that would be perfect.
There you go.
You only have to eat a half of one. Have we got a break now? Yes, we do. We're going to go away and come back, and I'll see if I can't force some fruit down his mouth.
Time is like money.
LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
How may I help you?
Hello, Sam. How may I help you?
Yes, I just wanted to comment on the broadband issues. I've actually switched broadband providers 3 times over the last 2 years.
Wow, you must be out of your mind.
Absolutely unhappy, and you know the big 2-letter word if. Yeah, it's never gone right when they say what it will do, and I've had the codes that whatever that code thing you're supposed to have.
The MAC code.
Yeah, the MAC code. I've had all that stuff, and it hasn't made any difference. And I've gone from very major providers to the lesser one to back to a normal big one. And in fact, the last switch, it took 28 days.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You're dark for a month.
Used to using the internet on a daily basis. Well, I use it for work. I'm a developer. For me, it was murder. I mean, it was just awful. And you'd call customer service, and I am not joking, for all 3, I spent a minimum of 45 minutes on hold before I spoke to a human.
Yeah. And the part that, and that's bad enough, you kind of expect that. Every time you call a major organisation, you expect that at least half of your day is gone. But when you get through, and then, and I know why they do this, and I almost sympathise, but it makes me want to kill myself, or more accurately, go to their office with a machine gun, where they pick it up and they put it straight down.
Oh yeah, I've had that. I had that happen twice, on 2 occasions with the last switch I did. I would call, I waited 30 minutes the first time and got hung up. The second time I waited another 25 minutes, it hung up then. And then the third time it went through and I was speaking to somebody in Malta. And it was so irritating because I'm thinking at that point I did want to go down and break some heads, but I thought it'd be a long journey.
Yeah, it would, yeah. You'd probably get over your anger by the time you got there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam.
Yeah, by the way, we just wanted to tell you that we think you're the greatest.
All right, cheers, mate.
Yes.
No, I didn't. He seemed like a nice man, and he was an expert and all. But that whole MAC code thing, we're going to switch you over in an afternoon. I didn't believe that for a second.
No.
And that does drive me to absolute. And you know that nice lady Sarah who called a little while ago, and she was she'd lost her mind practically. She was beside herself.
Yes.
And I have been there as well, like on the floor of the study, howling like a dog, literally. I just completely lost my mind.
Don't you?
And you know what? It doesn't help. And it's, in the great scheme of things, even not necessarily in the great universal scheme of things, just in the scheme of your life or your day, it doesn't make that much difference. And you're really killing yourself from the inside by getting so worked up about that. I know that to be true.
But don't you do other stuff while you're on hold? Like if you've got it on the speaker?
That's the beauty of the speakerphone, yeah, that you can actually do that.
The thing is, you kind of...
I just get sick of hearing Greensleeves over and over and over again.
The worry I always make is when I put it on the speakerphone and I start doing things and I think, oh, I need to take these plates downstairs, and so I rush downstairs.
Or you desperately need a pee. I mean, sitting there for an hour, you just really need to go to the loo, right? But you can't, because you know that as soon as you start, and for a man, I know women can stop like that, but we can't.
No.
Right? Once you've started, you must finish.
Always.
And you know that as soon as you've, started to let go, then they're going to be saying, hello,
hello,
hello, and then the click comes. And you just want to end your life. You want to jump into the toilet and flush yourself down.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, but just don't get worked up about it. I know it's very, very hard, but just take a breath.
Our bodies can't take it, though.
It's our minds that's doing it to us. It's the connection between your mental health and your physical health is very strong.
Is it?
Yeah, believe me. So I've made myself physically ill just by being mentally nuts.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I had a near-death experience just because I couldn't control my... so I just got worked up about everything all the time. Now I'm much more calm. Don't I seem much more calm? It's practically 9 o'clock. Here comes the good news.
Ondon's LBC 97.3.
Yeah.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Do you mind if I say a few words? Thank you.
was wrong. That wasn't good news at all. Not a smidgen of it. All very, very bad indeed. Apart from the thing at the end there was an and finally story, and it was Brian Dowling. Who's he again?
Is he a Big Brother person?
One of those?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't ask me which one.
And he had a fight with Jim Davidson.
Yeah.
Now, the makers of this... it was Hell's Kitchen, that's what that is, right? With Marco Pierre White.
Yeah.
Crazy name, crazy guy. And, it's one of these reality shows that everyone seems to be obsessed with making these days because no one can think of anything else. Because nobody has any scripts anymore. Nobody is able to write a script anymore or act, apparently. Which is why we've got so much rubbish on the TV. Well, they found that it's just so much cheaper to not employ writers and not have to have rehearsals and, you know, all of that the stuff that just takes up so much time and money. If they just point a camera at a bunch of shouting people, then they've discovered that the audiences are just as big.
They are.
And so it's our fault for watching this tripe.
Turn it off.
But Brian Dowling had he's the camper than camp. I mean, he's so camp that they'll give him his own chat show on ITV.
Soon.
He had a falling out with Jim Davidson.
I thought he already had a chat show somewhere.
No, that's some other guy who kind of is a looky-likey. That's another one of those who used to be on a soap, or is on a soap, or something like that. He screams his way through a show in the afternoon on ITV.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. Painful. But he had a falling out with Jim Davison. I thought Jim Davison was such a nice man.
Well, but the thing is that it's designed to cause arguments, isn't it?
Exactly. Why would they have one guy who couldn't be more gay if he actually was at the foot of a rainbow, and twin him with a man not known for his Guardian reading credentials?
You know, and
just so that they will shout at each other for our amusement.
Of course, put them in a tiny, tiny kitchen. It's boiling hot.
Light the blue touch paper and retire. Exactly. So I might start watching that programme now, because A.A. Gill, who is my quality bellwether, he said that it's actually quite good. Or he said that Marco Pierre White's actually quite good.
Sure.
That Gordon Ramsay was a bit of a pantomime dame in the way that he puts on his, fiery temperament for the cameras and swears and shouts, and I don't really... First of all, I don't think he's a very nice man. From everything that you've heard about him. So I don't want people who aren't very nice in my living room.
What, even on your TV?
Yeah, exactly. That's right, in my living room.
But the thing
I
is,
won't invite them in.
You deciding to watch that, that means there'll always be reality TV programmes on.
I don't know, I think the worm has turned. I mean, the Big Brother was famously unsuccessful this year, such that they won't be bringing the celebrity version out, and it may never appear again, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Although, there is a corollary, is that right? To what I've just said, in that I think they've bought the format until for the next few years.
Right.
I don't know when exactly, maybe 2011 or something like that.
So no one else can nab it?
So I think that they basically have to do it.
What, force it out?
Yeah. But after a while, it's like, they're like politicians. After a while, you just get sick of them, and you want something else.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So after a while of watching the same thing over and over and over again, a bunch of shouty morons, all cooped up together. We're just sick of that. We've seen that already.
But do you reckon it'll go full circle in the fact that, now it was really good to start with, then it got a bit boring, and then it'll get good again?
No, I think it'll go full circle in that people who make television will actually be shamed into actually making proper programmes again. I mean, it should happen with the BBC. I mean, they've just come up with £2 billion short, and so they're saying, well, instead of just cutting all the crap that we make, we're going to have to. There's the salami method of cost saving, I think is how they call it. So, so everyone's going to have to suffer. We'll take money from Panorama and Newsnight and News at 10 and documentaries. We'll cancel all of those, and so that we can still provide people with celebrity dancing or whatever the hell they're putting on Saturday night now.
Yeah.
Which they flat out shouldn't be doing. If you're competing directly with ITV, stop doing it. We don't need two shows that are the same. One provided by the BBC, just in order to cut ITV's audience in half. What's the point of that? So maybe a light will go off above their brains and they'll think, well, you know what, maybe we should actually make a proper programme again. You can remember proper programmes, can't you?
No.
No.
Oh.
No, nobody can.
But the thing is, if you...
That's why, sorry to interrupt you all the time.
That's all right.
But that's why all the good programmes come from America. Name me one thing that we've produced in this country that has that you would even put in the same league as The Sopranos, or 24, or CSI, or I could name quality American dramas from now until 10 o'clock. And we could, and as for the British side of that list, well, there ain't none. So maybe it's because we've been concentrating on tripe. All of that, the X Factor and the Pop Idol and the kitchen thing and the dancing thing and the singing thing and the mystery talent thing, and it just goes on and on and on.
But you know what the problem is? All these reality shows that we've made over here, now the states have adopted every single format.
Yes, exactly. And so they're doing it there, but at the same time, they're making all of these excellent programs.
But do you think that the big American TV corporations will think, oh, actually, this is a lot cheaper to do, and will scrap away with all their hit dramas like 24 and Prison Break and all that, and think,
well, yes and no, because all the top dramas seem to be coming from two stables. They seem to be coming from HBO, which is a standalone channel in America that you have to pay for. I don't think it comes as a package. I think you have to actually pay for HBO.
Wow.
So they have to make it top quality. That's why Larry Sanders was on HBO, Curb Your Enthusiasm was an HBO thing, that Deadwood thing, which I never actually got into because I didn't really fancy being immersed in shouty, sweary cowboy culture.
Is that the thing with Lovejoy?
Yeah, it was supposed to be very good. That was an HBO thing. The Sopranos is HBO. A lot of the quality things that come from America come from that channel, because if they don't produce quality, if they just produce, a lot of tripe, people wouldn't pay for it. So they're forced to do it. But in the same way that people are forced to pay for the BBC. So they should be beholden to make quality things and not just copy what's on ITV.
But if British TV channels start making proper programmes and start getting loads of writers in and do, like a 2-part series of whatever, then people watch it and think, oh, actually, this is not real. I want some real stuff.
If you want real, just hang out at the bus stop. There's plenty of real out there. We can do it, though. We can actually do it. When we put our minds to it, we can come up with world-quality fare. Prime Suspect being a perfect case in point. That's got to be one of the best things that's been on over the last year, and it was made right here in Great Britain.
Yeah, but it hasn't lasted, has it?
Oh.
Stop whining.
Here is, who's been waiting the longest? Let's be totally fair about this.
John.
John. Where's John? Oh, yeah. Chiswick. Hello, John.
Oh, hello, Nick.
John.
2 things. Earlier this year, I sent you a leaflet for a museum. I don't know if you got it or not. I sent it to LBC.
Was it a STEAM thing?
That's it.
Yes.
Were you interested?
No.
Oh.
But thanks for sending it.
But it's a bit like, I thought you was quite keen on Battersea Power Station.
Yes.
But it's a bit like that.
What, steam engines?
Well, it's big machinery in quite an impressive building.
Which one is it?
Kempton Park.
This is Kempton Park. Doodah. Where's Kempton Park?
It's South London. I think you live out that way now, sort of near between Staines and Richmond.
Right. Right. Well, I'll investigate further.
Well, you don't want another one, then? Or you still?
Was it a free entry?
Well, no.
All right. Well, no, I'll
man of your means.
What you mean? If I mention your name?
Well, yes, if you come on a Tuesday, I'll show you around for nothing.
Yeah.
But the machinery won't be running; it's static.
If I mention your name at the box office, they'll sell me a ticket at the normal price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will investigate further. I absolutely promise. Next time I get a moment.
Okay. The other thing was...
What was it called again?
Kempton Park.
Kempton Park.
It was a little green pamphlet I sent. The only thing was I wondered whether you actually got it or not.
I did.
Oh, good. Okay, the other thing is, can I give you a website for an easy broadband connection?
What do you mean?
Well, because you didn't believe me when I phoned you earlier this year or late last year.
What do you mean an easy broadband connection? Well, you mean of a company?
Yeah.
No, because that'd be advertising.
It would, that's why I asked.
Yeah, no. But thanks.
But it's, do you want to hear about it?
Do I want to hear about a company that does broadband?
Yeah.
No.
Well, easy access. You avoid the telephone wires, which is the main phone. It all comes in a box, and you set that, and you receive it with its own mini receiver, wireless thing.
That sounds really bizarre.
Well, that's why I was going to give you, because you didn't believe me last time, that's why I was going to give you the address.
What, and so it comes over radio waves?
Yeah, it's the mobile phone firm.
Oh, mobile phone, right.
No, the people who do, they use the mobile phone masts to transmit it.
Right, that sounds, that sounds like something that we can't talk about, because it's like an advert. Yeah. But I do appreciate the thought, John.
Yes. Well, yes, I could.
We've come to a dead end.
We have.
Never mind, but thanks a lot. Right.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da. It's 9:15. Here's Travel with Amanda Redmond.
Thanks very much, Nick. Well, looking at delays at the moment.
BC 97.3.
0870 90 973. Nick Abbott.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio.
Kilburn. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Nick.
Paul.
Lovely to hear you on this slot. I wish you were on every night.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks a lot, Dad. This is my agent on the phone.
Sorry.
Go on.
Sex and the City was also on HBO.
Sex and the City, right.
That was also on HBO.
Yeah.
And the third part was the fruit. I never eat fruit.
You never eat fruit?
No. No. Well, I just never think about it.
Right. Well, you sound like you're in the peak of health.
I am. I'm 65.
Right.
And I eat strawberries when they're in season. But
that's fruit.
But if I never had to have a piece of fruit, it wouldn't bother me,
Right. Well, you eat a lot of vegetables, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I don't miss fruit at all. I don't know why, but just never got used to that, I suppose,
Well, is it because during the war that fruit was rarely found?
You couldn't get bananas and things. Maybe that's got something to do with it, possibly,
right,
yes.
Yeah.
Could be right, yeah. But there is life without fruit,
Okay, well, you keep keeping on, Paul.
Okay, mate.
Thanks a lot, mate. Ta-ta. Sex and the City, yeah, that was maybe an HBO thing. I could never get to the end of that programme. It was just too girly.
Yeah.
In much the same way that I had high hopes for Studio 60 on Sunset Strip.
Was that...
But that got too girly as well.
Did it?
Yeah, and they cancelled it in America, so it's only one series long, so I thought, oh, why bother?
Oh, great.
In much the same way as I'm thinking, oh, why bother about Heroes? That's becoming a lot of old tripe, isn't it? That looks like another Lost in the making. In other words, you watch every week and nothing ever happens.
How far have you got through it?
I think we're in about episode 9 or 10 now, which is plenty long enough to make your mind up about whether it's good or not. And I have, and I don't think it is. But you know what? I think I'm going to still watch it anyway. In much the same way as I continue to watch Superman Returns, which was on the satellite channel on the other night. Superman Returns. I have never in all my life seen such a load of old rubbish as that film, which I watched right to the end and was horrified at the ending because there was no big showdown. They left the big showdown with the evil Lex Luthor for the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
And there never should be one, because that film, there's a film that does not deserve a sequel. But the stupidity of it, of watching it for half an hour and thinking, this is tripe. And then an hour in thinking, I really should turn this off. But just continuing to watch all the way to the end. And then I was very disappointed with myself.
Oh, I liked it.
I'm an idiot. You liked it?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
I think it helped because I was watching it in 3D.
In 3D?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I went to a screening at the IMAX of it, and, yeah, it was, I think that made it, a million times better.
Well, I don't know. A crap in 3 dimensions is still crap, isn't it?
Coming at you.
Here's Chislehurst. Hello, Rob.
Hello. I'd like to confirm I do like fruit before we go any further.
Good man.
So you know.
Yes.
I understand that woman's angst and inner rage with our utility companies.
Yeah.
No name, no practical.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't care. If you take your business elsewhere, the person on the phone doesn't care. They're not bothered.
Well, that's very true. And you know what? It must be a nightmare. Imagine getting up at the crack of doom in the morning to, and quite shortly you'll be getting up in the dark and going to work in the dark to a job that you absolutely hate, because all day long you're answering the phone to people who are moaning and whining and hate you before they've even spoken to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it isn't their fault.
No.
You really should take it up the chain, because it's the companies who manipulate it.
Unfortunately, Rob, you can never get up the chain. They've insulated themselves from the general public.
That's true. But you know what? I found a good way of dealing with these companies.
Yeah.
If I've got a utility and the service isn't up to scratch, stop paying the bill. They'll soon be on to you, and they really, really want to talk to you then. And do you know what you got to do? When they phone up, stick them on hold for 20 minutes. Really, do it at home. You got a hold button. Just say, well, what you need to do, I'm just going to try and find him, put him on hold, go and make a cup of tea, and it just escalates, and eventually you get the problem solved.
Yeah, or you get the bailiffs around and your credit rating is in the toilet.
No, you never let it get that bad. But you should, you know, it is, we are just treated like muppets. And I felt for that woman earlier.
Yeah, me too. I tried to help. Am I helping?
You're very, very therapeutic.
Yeah. I'm so calming. Yeah, everyone says so. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Yeah, see you later.
Cheers, ta-da.
Bye-bye.
That's the thing with these giant companies. They figured out that, it used to be that you could get the manager on the phone. Now, the manager insulates himself in much the same way as generals in the army insulate themselves from the action. They'll be away back there, ordering their Batman around. Talking of Superman, let's bring Batman into the equation. Having a cocktail, putting their feet up and smoking a cigar. Meanwhile, all the foot soldiers up the front, the pawns on the map, they're being blasted to smithereens, which is much the same way as the call centres. They're the footmen being blasted to smithereens by an angry and vexatious public.
See, they sometimes put at the bottom of the letters that they send you, informing you about their new services and all that. They put this name and the head of customer services as his title. I don't think that person actually exists. No. It's just a gimmick for part of the company. Because I asked to speak to that person not too long ago, and they said, "Oh, we don't know how to get through to him."
No.
Yeah.
But it is incredibly annoying, because you want to vent your fury at this organisation that's ruining your life and taking your money, but you can't, because the person on the other end of the phone is just some poor sap like you who's working for £5 an hour, who's living a hell, because every moment of the day, every answer of the phone, and I've done this before. I was one of those poor types who call out in order to drum up business. Cold calling. And you never want to after a while, you never want to make the next call, because you know that the next caller does not want to speak to you.
It's abuse.
And so even though you'll never actually meet them, and your conversation with them will often be very brief indeed, you just don't want to push that number again. It must be even worse to have the people calling you, because you can see the numbers stacking up. Usually in these places they'll have some sort of ticker machine that shows how many people are on hold, which is why often, after being on hold for a long time, you'll hear them just pick the phone up and put it down, just to get that number down. That's what they do. Which is infuriating and makes you want to die. It makes you think your head's going to actually explode. But it's not their fault. Well, the picking up and the putting down is their fault, but then essentially it's not their fault, because they've been given targets, and as with all government targets, they always have the opposite effect to that which was intended. To give these people a target, they must not keep people on hold for a very long time. Well, the answer to that is just to pick the phone up and put it down. They're not on hold anymore. And then you've got the job done.
1 second calls.
Exactly. So if you give them targets, and they must answer a certain amount of calls in an hour, then they're just going to be really brief and not help you. See, I'll say, I'll put you on hold, and then that call's gone. So that call's been dealt with.
See, I've started emailing complaints through now rather than phoning.
Right. Are you getting any success there?
Well, I haven't. I'm still waiting to hear anything back, but I put my number in there and say, can you call me? And I'm just going to wait for that call.
Right, okay. Well, don't hold your breath.
I won't.
Hi, Wickham.
Hello, Nick.
Edwina.
Nick, you were talking about American dramas over here.
Yeah.
And reality shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really sick of reality shows over here. I think it's too easy to produce them.
Yes.
But do you remember, we used to, you mentioned Prime Suspect. I love shows like that. And do you remember House of Cards?
House of Cards is one of the greatest programs that's ever been made. Yeah. It was brilliant.
Brilliant. And
a lot of what was it Richardson. His name was Richardson.
That's right. He died quite
That's
recently,
right. A lot of what he was in, it was almost a mark of quality if his name was on the was on the program, because he did that thing that was called Porterhouse Blue.
Yes.
And that was brilliant as well. So we can do it. It's just that we can't be bothered anymore.
Exactly. And do you remember Alec Guinness, Tinker Tailor
Soldier Spy? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, another brilliant.
And everything that we're mentioning, apart from, well, including Prime Suspect, because that was just a continuing series, was made in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
70s or 80s.
And also, going back then, Forsyth Saga, I thought that was brilliant.
That's even further back.
Yeah. But
anything recent? Well, no one can think of anything right now.
Why?
No.
Is it down to finances? What is it? Why is it so bland now?
Well, because unfortunately in this country, bland sells. What's the most popular of anything? It's usually the most bland of its type. Depressingly, that's true.
Yeah.
Which is why in every media, that's all you get. It's just like a wash of beige. Yeah.
But you see, apart from BBC, advertising supports these programs.
I think what it is no one wants to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So no one in TV, well, you can say this for any media, no one wants to say or do something that's a little bit on the edge, that's a little bit extraordinary, that hasn't been tried and tested, in case it's a mistake. If they just recreate something that was already a hit, then it's almost they're insulating themselves from criticism. If they say, you see what's over on ITV, that's called Dance X or whatever it is, just do as one of those, and then they can't be criticised if it's not a hit, because it's already been like a tried and tested show elsewhere. And I think that's why everything looks like everything else these days.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to make a mistake.
But what a shame that they don't bring those sort of programs back. And
well, we've always got UK Gold. Hey, listen, Edwina, I've got to go because I'm coming up to a break. But thanks a lot. All right. Cheers, my dear. Yeah, at least all that good stuff will always be on repeat.
Did you have a good weekend, Dave? Yeah.
C97.3.
0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Swear, small words.
In a little bit, I'm going to quiz you about Ken Livingstone and Boris Johnson. The look on your face. Don't worry, it's not anything that you have to know the answers to. It's just about your opinions.
Okay. So there is no right or wrong answer?
Correct. Well, there is.
Okay.
And I will be punishing you severely if you get a wrong answer, but I don't want you to be concerned about that. I'll be humiliating you on the air, at length.
Alright, I promise I won't cry then. Can we have a how low at all?
Oh, yes. This is a good one. We have a Packard Bell home PC package up for grabs in today's How Low reverse auction, which ends at 11:30 this evening. You've got about 2 hours, just under. The model features a 17-inch flat screen. It will, it'll fit conveniently in smaller spaces. What? For 17 inches is quite large, isn't it? So you'll need a
17-inch space.
At least a 17-inch space, yeah. It's got a huge 160-gigabyte hard drive. You can create DVDs using the dual-layer rewriter. You can watch all your favourite DVDs on the 17-inch flat-screen monitor, for which you will need a 17-inch space. It's got room for 6 USB connections, so you can connect all your peripherals. Your printer, your scanner, your camera, your PDA. What's a PDA?
Little palm,
Oh, your personal digital assistant. Yeah, I knew that. It comes complete with Norton security software, and I bet somewhere in there it's got Intel inside. Bing bong, don't they all? If you would like to have a go at this, remember it's the lowest unique bid what wins the game. That's the lowest bid in pence that nobody else makes before the end of the auction, 11:30 tonight. Text LBC plus your bid in pence to 88821. For instance, if it's £1.23, you would text LBC 123 to 88821. Bids cost £1.50 plus your standard network rate. Lines close at 11:30 tonight. Bidders must be over 16. See lbc.co.uk for full terms and conditions. And I don't know if this is actually right, but I believe that the specific site is lbc.co.uk/competitions. Is that right?
Orky/Dorky.
It makes me laugh every time. But there it is. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Here is London Colney. Oh, Mandy. I never realized. Hey, Mandy.
Well, you're making that shorter and shorter. You tease.
I know.
I
never realised how much I miss you, or something like that. Oh, Mandy.
You came and you gave it up. Anyway, that's not my rhyme.
Right.
I've got the CD if I want to play it. I was very happy with Talk Talk.
Well, without mentioning any brand names, Talk Talk, you say? Yes.
This is a happy story.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's a happy story or not.
Well, and then, without mentioning any names,
yeah,
I was slammed by ANSR.
I think you've mentioned this before, and it was you or somebody else, and I couldn't believe it when I heard it. Somebody
Have you heard of being slammed?
Well, I couldn't remember that that's what it was called, but what they do it? Well, you tell us what they do.
They took me away.
Without your knowledge.
And it's illegal. I've spoken to Ofcom about it.
Right.
It's highly legal.
Wait a minute. It's highly legal?
Illegal.
Illegal,
oh,
right.
Yes.
Do you know what the difference between unlawful and illegal is?
No. Well, unlawful is illegal, isn't it?
Do you guys know what the difference between unlawful and illegal is?
Not the slightest idea.
Really? Well, unlawful is against the law, and illegal is a sick bird.
You're awful.
Well, you got to have a laugh, ain't you?
Anyway, can I carry on?
Oh, please do, yeah.
So, I rang Talk Talk immediately, and they put me back on their phones, so I got free calls. I'm not getting my broadband back till Friday.
Right.
So I've been using pay-as-you-go. It's like snail mail. And Talk Talk have been brilliant, because they're paying for me to use snail mail.
Right.
Which is, I mean, you log on to get your emails. It's
yeah, but that's about it. Try downloading photographs, and they take forever.
I did. Someone sent me a photograph, and it took an hour.
Yeah.
But it's just, I was livid.
Well, I can imagine. So what happened was you're just bumbling along, minding your own affairs, and somebody takes your broadband away from you and changes the company without you knowing.
Yeah.
Without you.
I was ringing Talk Talk saying, "Oh, my computer's broken." Blah, blah,
yeah.
And they said, "Well, you've been disconnected."
That's incredible, isn't it? How do they do that?
They said, "Have you got a phone line?" I said, "Yeah." Well, it's so obvious who did it, but
this evil other company, whose name we won't be mentioning right now, yes.
Yeah, but it's so obvious. But I did at least have a phone line, and I didn't lose my phone number.
Yeah, so stop whining.
Yeah, meow. And Talk Talk were just brilliant with me.
Yeah, without mentioning any brand name, over and over and over again.
Yeah, but can I tell you, you're whinging about utility companies and all these other people. With Talk Talk, if you ring them... Yes, and you get a team number of the person you've spoken to, or if they're not available, the other person emails them and they ring you back within 5 minutes.
Right, well, I'll believe that when I see it.
No, there's no hanging on. It's brilliant.
Right.
And the music you get is not green sleeves.
Oh, really? What do they play? Is it this one?
Thunderclap. No.
Wouldn't that be great if they put that on hold?
You know what
dancing around your bedroom.
Is.
Huh?
You know what the Talk Talk music is.
How do I know what the Talk Talk music is?
Call out the instigation, because there's something... Thunderclap Newman, something in the air.
Right, Thunderclap Newman, yes, all the hits. We'll be hearing that right now. Come on, Chris, dial it in. Here we go. Hut! No, we haven't got that one either.
No.
You fail at this. You're rubbish.
It was a nice song, and, you know...
It was a nice song, yeah.
It's better than
It was the only one they did, Thunderclap Newman.
It was a one-hit wonder.
Exactly. Anyone remember anything else Thunderclap Newman did?
No.
No.
No. It's tomorrow night, isn't it?
Anyway, thanks a lot, Mandy. Thanks for
Isn't
that
it?
beautiful story. What?
It's tomorrow night.
It's tomorrow night, yeah. All right, thanks a lot. Got to go. Cheers, my dear. Ta-da. Yeah, tomorrow night, Carol is on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Carol and some other woman that we've never heard of. Some other celebrity.
What, was it a double team?
Yeah, in order that they don't look stupid individually, they can blame it on the other.
Always.
Because if it was just one person, that would be the pressure that they would be under would be massive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. You'd have to be out of your mind. I mean, because people say you got it one wrong. I mean, there was one time that I was watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I did not know the answer to the first question.
Yeah.
Now that's scary.
It's brave of you to admit that
Yes,
as well.
and I think it was an unusually difficult first question. And it was one of those things where you either know or you don't. I think it was like a soap question. I don't watch soaps. So you ask me anything about Coronation Street, I won't have any idea.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those. Like, it's supposed to be common knowledge, but isn't if you don't follow that show. At least that's my contention. I can't actually remember right now, but it must have been something of that order.
So you'd never go on it?
No, I think you'd have to be nuts, because you can only lose, particularly if the money that you're winning isn't going to be yours. I mean, they're playing for charity, right?
Yeah.
So there's no upside, unless you do fantastically well, and then your star will have risen.
Your profile.
Yeah, exactly. Which is presumably why everybody goes on it in the first place. I bet the competition to get on these things is huge, in much the same way that the line of celebrities is around the block when Channel 4 opens its doors for the Celebrity Big Brother thing. Everybody wants to get on that show because everybody can guarantee at least 6 figures in opportunities afterwards.
I'm waiting for the Celebrity Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, bound to be. I still don't understand that show. It's a show that's not a show. It lasts for an hour. And so ITV, because they didn't have a thought in their heads, they put on a show that's exactly like it, presented by a guy who's already got 50 million quid in the bank, Jasper Carrot.
Oh, he's Golden Balls.
Why on earth did he come back and do that? The brief moment that I saw that programme, I was mystified. I also felt a little bit sorry for him. If I didn't know that he was so rich, I would my heart would have been bleeding, because he looked both bored and embarrassed at the same time.
Is he really that rich?
Yeah, he owned the Millionaire Show, didn't he?
Did he? What, the rights to it?
Yeah, I believe he was a big cheese in the people who owned the Millionaire Show, and they sold it, and now he's got all the money in the world that Bill Gates doesn't own.
Well, he should have put himself on the Millionaire Show, because putting himself on the Golden Ball show is a bit rubbish.
Yeah. But the money must be great. I mean, if you already had £10 million in the bank, I mean, how much money would they have to give you to persuade you to work again? I don't think enough money would exist to persuade me out.
Yeah, well, that's why...
But then, as we've already established, you and I are losers, baby, because we don't have the get up and go.
Don't we know it?
Yeah, we'll always be nothing.
Yeah. So what's this quiz you've got for me?
Oh, do you really want me to get into it?
Oh.
Well, I'll get into it in the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll do the travel and then I'll come out and... you just relax, man.
I'm stressing about it.
Just relax. There are no right answers. Well, there are right answers, but it's just it's your opinion.
You said there's no right answers.
There's a right answer. See, they asked 1,000 people what they think. And so there is a consensus, but there is no actual right answer. So you're either with the crowd or you're not. But you can be you can be outside of the commonly held.
It's like taking an exam.
Opinion. Yeah, but just the look on your face, it's like you look like a slapped dog. Cheer up, mate.
My palms are sweating.
It's going to be fine. It's just about how you think about the two candidates.
Okay.
No knowledge is required.
Right.
Well, you like this exams during school?
Oh, I hated them.
Well, everyone hated them, but I mean, we didn't virtually put ourselves into hospital just at the thought of them.
Yeah, sweaty palms and just I know, just couldn't sleep the night before.
Right.
I know, just so much rests on getting it right.
Yeah. Well, now, was that... Are you talking about your school exams, or just the thought of doing a show with me the next day?
All of it.
Both, yeah. It's, as much as makes no difference, if we're talking about jazz, 9:45. Here's Travel with Amanda Redmond.
Thanks very much. Well, if you're going along the Marlborough...
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Come on, we're running late!
Let's go to Poshest Putney. Hello, Richard.
Hi.
Richard.
Hello.
How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Good. There's the pleasantries out the way.
Right, yes, right, okay. Well, I was quite peed off the other day. I can say peed off, can't I?
Twice, yeah.
Right, right, yeah, I was at train station the other day, and my train was delayed. And, it caused me great inconvenience, and the announcement came on, and it said, you know, the da-da-da from da-da-da has been cancelled. And then it said, I am sorry for your delay. And I thought that was very unsincere of the announcement. It's a computer, you know, it's not sorry. I know it doesn't care because it was programmed by somebody.
Yes.
I stood there, and, you know, I just gathered my thoughts, and I thought, well, you're not sorry. You don't know what I have to do. You know, you're not sorry. You're a computer. Who says sorry like that? Who says sorry? You know, it's just ridiculous. And I was really, really angry. And I thought, well, this is something I have to share with LBC, of course.
Right.
So, I just wanted to find out if there's been a time maybe where you have been outraged by something, maybe if it's an announcement, be back in 5 minutes at the shops, and they're not back in 5 minutes. They might be back in half an hour, but it still says be back in 5 minutes.
Richard, I've made the business of my life to be outraged at any slight thing, which means that I literally put myself into hospital with it. So my advice to you is to just calm down.
Yes, your advice for quite a lot of your callers tonight, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right. Take a breath and then just arrange your facial features into the shape of a smile. And, bizarrely, even if you're not feeling it, you will sense a wave of warmth come over you.
Right.
Because your brain will think, oh, I'm smiling. Why am I smiling? Oh, I must be happy. And then you'll feel better.
Yes, so I'll definitely try that.
All right.
I mean, Brixton, you have random characters just...
Yeah, don't smile in Brixton, Richard.
Right, okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for that.
Thanks a lot. Ta-da.
You take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, I think that's all right, though. I mean, I am sorry for any inconvenience. That's just being nice.
Be polite!
Yeah,
be polite.
But a robot saying it.
Yeah, but a nice lady had to say that first, though, didn't she? Said, I am sorry for your inconvenience.
Hmm.
I mean, if they said your train has been delayed or cancelled, screw you, then that's not very polite, is it?
Yeah, but the thing is, they say it so often that it loses meaning, doesn't it?
Well, that's right. In much the same way as if you go into an American, well, anywhere in America, they'll say, well, they used to, have a nice day. They don't actually mean it. It's just to cap the interaction between you.
Oh no, but the way they say it over there makes you think that they genuinely mean it. It's the tone that they're using.
Right, they don't.
That's the difference.
Believe me.
Aren't they?
No, they don't mean it. They don't care about you.
But it's all in the tone.
Have a nice day, or I'll kill you. So, are you ready for your little quiz now?
No, but go on then.
It says here, this is one of these free giveaway papers. It's been, or it will be rather, a battle that will captivate the city and already has the public forming some firm opinions about the men tipped to go head-to-head to be London's next mayor. Are we captivated?
No.
No. As one, just even thinking about the battle for mayor, we're thinking...
Boring!
Yeah, I mean, really, who really cares? Can anybody whip up any enthusiasm for it at all?
No.
No. I mean, we don't even really care about the general election. More people vote on Big Brother than vote in the general election. We just can't be asked, can we?
Nah.
Because we know they're all lying to us all the time. And we do get that sense that any vote that you make is going to make the slightest bit of difference. Because the bloke who's up front... isn't the guy who's actually running things. Things are being run by a secret cabal of shadowy figures.
See, I hardly vote on anything, only because I always think, oh, my vote's going to go to the person who not many people are going to vote for anyway, so it's going to be a wasted vote.
Right. So, which party is that then? I think we've all made our mind up about which party that is.
Well,
somebody's got to vote for them. In the red corner, weighing in with 7 years in the job. 7 years? I thought it was longer than that. Doesn't it seem longer than that?
7 years.
I suppose because he was leader of the GLC for so long. He's just been a part of London life for so very long.
Yeah.
I mean, back to the 70s.
It's just been in your face.
He's been #1 in London for... It must be 30 years now, right?
I don't know, that's like before my time.
Because Maggie ditched the GLC, and he was the leader of the GLC. I was there when they had their last fond farewell, fireworks and bands, and it was in Jubilee Gardens.
Were you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't specifically for supporters. It was just one of their shindigs that they threw in Jubilee Gardens.
A little jolly jolly.
Yeah, that's right. And that must have been 80s. I'm sure he was, the GLC was running in the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the building that's now an top hotel on the South Bank. What a view some of those lucky customers have got. The House of Parliament right opposite. How about that for a view of London?
Nice.
Anyway, Ken Livingstone is 62. His main opponent in the blue corner, with a record of headline grabbing, is Boris Johnson, 43. And it comes to something when you read that politicians are younger than you are. I find that really quite upsetting.
Oh. He's only 43?
Yeah, he's 43.
He looks older than Kim.
It looks like a man who hasn't really taken care of himself, or hasn't been that bothered, which is part of his whole thing, right? It's just not that bothered.
Nah.
Although he does cycle everywhere. 1,000 people were surveyed in this little quiz that they gave them about each candidate. People aged 18 to 44 were asked who they would vote for in the election if it was held next week. And it's pretty much neck and neck, although they're... I bet the difference between them is not statistically significant. But they're making it that one person will win and the other will lose, just on the basis of these 1,000 people.
Right.
And I bet that this has got no relation to the truth at all. But they're saying that Ken Livingstone is on 37%, and Bouncing Boris is on 35. So in other words, they are neck and neck, which is actually a big surprise, because you think that the incumbent would be much more popular. Because 7 years isn't long enough for people to think, oh, I just want to change, I don't care, why, I've just got to have somebody else. Which is, I think, what we thought last time when we kicked the Tories out. That's what they thought when they kicked Winston Churchill out, and so on and so on. There comes a tipping point where we just can't stand it anymore, and we've got to have someone else.
It's like when your sofa looks a bit old-fashioned in your living room.
Quite right. And then they posed words and asked them to say which candidate most represented the word.
Okay.
And the first word was passionate. Now, I'm going to go through these words, and you tell me which candidate came out top for each word. Now, the first word's passionate. I'll give you a moment to think. The look of eagerness on your face is a delight.
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Right, so what are we doing?
Carol, we are quizzing Chris.
Okay.
He's been looking... well, you haven't been looking forward to it. You've been thinking about it with trepidation for the last 3 hours. But now you've come to find out that it's actually not as scary as you imagined. Then you're thrilled and ready to go. That you were actually sitting on the edge of your seat.
I was.
You had your mouth open, ready to answer the question, and it hadn't even been posed to you.
I'm all excited.
You are. I'm going to have to put you on a leash. Right, okay, so they asked 1,000 people aged between 18 and 44 which word most represents each candidate. Passionate. Who do you think won on passionate?
I'm going for Boris.
Boris. No, you lose.
What? You said I couldn't lose.
I was lying about that. Ken Livingstone was said by 42% to be passionate, and only 32% said Boris was passionate, which I find really bizarre. I mean, who are these people? Passionate? Boris seems more passionate, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Now, it depends whether they mean passionate like that, or passionate about the issues.
Oh, right.
Maybe it's passionate about the issues.
Issues.
Because Boris doesn't... He hasn't come across yet. Perhaps this is just a lack of good PR on his part, as someone who cares very much about things. We know him more as a lovable TV rogue.
Yeah, we do.
Rogue's the right word. How about crazy?
Boris!
Yeah, 57% thought Boris was crazy, only 12% thought Ken was crazy. Businesslike.
Ken.
Ken is the right answer.
Yay.
36% thought Ken was businesslike, 9% thought Boris was... Well, that's about right. I mean, he doesn't seem a very businesslike person, does he?
Nah.
How about trustworthy?
I'm going for Ken.
You know what? I don't think that there's a right answer to this because they're so very close. Again, I don't think it's statistically significant. 13% said Boris, 14% said Ken. So it's the same.
Right.
Trustworthy. So that's good.
Yeah. Because if they say he's more passionate, you're gonna kind of trust someone who's more...
Not necessarily, because they could be wrong. They could be passionate but wrong.
Right.
They could be lying to us passionately. How about reliable?
Ken.
Ken again, yeah. 23% says Ken. Only 9% say Boris is reliable.
Boris is the type of person who gets locked out of his house.
Yeah, he's the type of person who would show up at the wedding as best man and have left the ring behind.
Yeah.
How about funny? That's an obvious one.
It's Boris.
It's Boris, yeah, with about 6 times more people thinking he was funny.
Is there a prize to this?
No. Well, you get to finish the show in one piece.
Thanks.
With your ego intact. Strong.
What, personality or muscle?
Just the word.
Boris.
No, Ken, 35% against 16. Shifty.
Ken.
Yeah, Ken's more shifty than Boris. And this is the worst of all. How about slimy?
Ooh, Ken.
Ken is at least twice as slimy as Boris, according to those polled. Clive's next.